The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, for Shock Jock Sports Podcast here. It is Monday, the first Monday of the new year. Imagine that, Kevin. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Well, have you seen that meme before with Paul Rudd? Have you ever seen, I'll just ask you this first of all. It's the YouTube channel Hot Ones. I think that's what it's called. I think it's called Hot Ones, or regardless, they bring on celebrities or ex-athletes or current athletes, and they eat hot wings, and they keep going up in the heat level, and they keep asking them questions and seeing if they can eat, make it through all of the flavor levels that they have. Well, the one that's running is Paul Rudd. It was a big one last year. The meme that was made out of it, because he's essentially sitting there talking, and I don't know what the guy asked him, but Paul Rudd looks at him and says, "Who would have thought?" Not me. And everybody just runs with it now. Everybody just runs with it. I don't know what to tell you on that. Oops, something went wrong. I know.
I'm having some trouble today, and I'm to the point I'm going to turn into Wayne Brady and start choking bitches in a minute. My kids are having a rough first day. And now I can't get into my computer here that I was just in Saturday.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know what happened. I don't know the password or whatever it is to it.
You threatened to choke it.
Oh, I was going to do more than choke this thing. I guess we got all kinds of fun.
Well, if you were gonna smash it, I probably can guarantee you we would get a whole lot more views on YouTube if you did that.
just
smashed it, just right here, right in front of everybody.
Well, I want to cuss right now because my kids about the age of 9, Hunter. Mm-hmm. Between 8 and 9 and 10, the boys at that age, for some reason, they're like 13-year-old girls with their attitudes. They're just sad. They hate the world. They want nothing makes them happy. They complain about everything. And you ask them to do anything, they look at you like you into their world. And I'm dealing with that right now with my son. And I'm just he's being difficult this morning, and that's all I can say without having the child services come get me.
Woosah. It's that woosah. Just rub your earlobes. Woosah.
Golly, just when they get stubborn on something, and then not eating, That drives me crazy
Yeah.
more than anything.
Not eating.
Like, I'm hungry, Daddy. I'm hungry, Daddy. What do you want? I want a cheeseburger. Okay. So I drive to the store, buy him a cheeseburger,
Yeah.
bring it back, 4 bites. My tummy hurts. I'm full. Oh, my God.
I could have got you a 4-piece chicken nugget and you'd have been fine.
Yeah, oh, my God. No, so yesterday, it's lunchtime. I'm like, well, I'm going to go get something. I got to go to the store. I'm going to go get some food.
Mm.
Y'all want anything? Wife and the 2 kids all said they wanted something.
Mm.
They might have ate 25% of what I brought them back. And I sat in line at the fast food restaurant for 18 minutes.
Oof.
What's funny about
Was
that?
it this one?
Turn the knob. No.
No.
What's funny about that one was that one's across the street. There were no cars.
Okay.
There were no cars in line at that one.
So
no,
not
Cherry,
here. Okay.
in Kings Mountain.
All right.
So that was across the street from where I went, and literally, Hunter.
Yeah.
0 cars.
0.
Right next to us, 0 cars in line, and where I'm at, I'm 9th.
Well, I stopped at this one,
Yeah.
and there was like maybe 2 cars there. When usually I'm pulling through and there's like 10.
Well, see, they just opened one of those up down in Kings Mountain. It's the same one.
Yeah.
So it's the same people, and I think they're having a that you know how opening weekends used to go fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, it's been Cheryl's done better in Kings Mountain.
Yeah.
It's been dreadful though, but I will say that I've heard a lot of comments, suggestions, and Facebooks about
Listeners are probably saying, what
what's
fast
going
food are
on.
they talking about? What's the restaurant? And I'm like, unless they're sponsoring us, I'm not giving them free advertising.
You're right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to kind of hide what I'm drinking.
I don't know if you can tell.
I will say though, it is just water. I told
Okay.
him, I said, I just want water. So
We got a whole jug of awesome, clear, fresh, cold water in this building.
I know, and I just whenever I'm done with this, I go and fill it up. I use it. I really do. Saturday mornings as well. I come in, and I fill my cup up, or I fill my
You
water
gotta
bottle
get just
up.
ice though,
Just ice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and just
so you get more ice, and then you can just fill up water.
well,
all you want.
well. See, I'm not a big ice fan.
I mean, you don't have to chew it. I'm just saying, keep
I
it
know,
cold.
I know. But see, that's what's so weird.
You don't like vanilla ice?
True water drinkers, because I drink water like all day, sometimes 8 to 9 cups a day. True water drinkers, I've seen it. I've read. I read an article about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. True water drinkers prefer water, and I know I do at room temperature because it's easier. Like you just can just chug it.
I'll say this:
I was like that on the sideline.
I don't. I'm not. I prefer ice cold. I can chug ice cold.
I can't.
I love
that's
chugging.
painful on my
I actually
gums.
love chugging ice cold water.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the room temperature.
Yeah. Now I'm not sitting here saying the thing's hot,
Right.
but
Our kids, the kids my age and grew up, Hunter, we drink out of the hose pipes.
oh yeah.
So like, depending on whatever the temperature was outside,
That's how cold the water was. We would do summer workouts, and if you didn't bring your water, this was at Bandy's, all we had was just like an old rusty spigot, and you just would pull it up, and every single one of you would just go under there. And
Let me tell you what we did at Cherub. So I'm trying to think at Bestman. At Bestman we had a machine. It was
Yeah.
like a pump that went inside the water cooler, and it had like 4 different hoses, and you could drink out of the hose.
Right.
But at at Cherville, this is right before when people started thinking, hey, let's do more than just it used to be 1 paper cup. That's it. So what they did was, I don't know who came up with it. They took a PVC pipe
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
And
drilled
drilled
holes in
holes.
them.
Yes.
and then ran the hose pipe into the PVC pipe.
We did that in middle school.
So
yeah.
So not only do the water taste like rubber hose,
It tastes like
was-
PVC pipe.
And remember, when is football practice? It's in August.
Yeah,
So it's
hot.
not cold.
No.
So you'd get your water break, and you're like, I don't know if I want it. Like, it's almost cooler licking sweat off of somebody than it
That
was.
or just remembering to bring your own water cooler.
And so the closer you was to where the water came in at, you had better water pressure. Mm-hmm. So the guys at the front, they would have to put their fingers on it so the guys in the end could actually get some water.
I know. We had that. We had that in middle school, and
The PVC pipe water.
it's just weird because you would have that one weird kid that would just put his whole mouth right there on the hole.
Everybody did.
And it was
everybody
just,
did.
It
They
was
just
just
sucked it out
so,
of the hole. I saw so many people just
Ugh.
just sucking through the hole, Hunter. Like,
And I'm
so
sitting there,
tired.
and I'm like, I'm not putting my mouth on that. And then that how it is. And growing up, you kids if you didn't really want to share your drink with somebody, you would look at them as soon as you'd say, "All right," but you got to waterfall it. I don't want to see it touch your lips at all, and you'd have to just Oh, the glories of growing up playing athletics. If you grew up and you drank out of any rusty spigot as an athlete, you are not scared of the coronavirus.
Yeah, listen, I've drank out of spigots and that water. We called it the water trough. And then there was a meme going on. Trough. There was a meme going on. You know what jungle juice is?
Yes.
So there's a meme going around. If you've had jungle juice in college,
we had jungle juice actually prom night in high school. So
there is probably nothing drink wise that I haven't had mixed at some point or tasted at some point. I can't think of just.
Well, I'll just say this in general. If you drink out of a public water fountain, you don't need to be scared of the coronavirus. A public water fountain. What anybody has done to a public water fountain? Because they don't just have somebody like they do now that just goes around and clean off the spigot.
So those, if they're not cold, I don't like them.
You don't like them?
For some reason, that one.
The one at my gym that I go to, it's not really cold water, but at the same time, if I'm sitting there sweating, I'm just like, I just need something. And so I just go over there. But what's so funny is sometimes is like the button will get stuck, and I'll like turn around and leave it, and it's just running. And I'm like, I'm not paying the water bill. Well, I kind of am as I'm paying my dues, but I'm not paying the water bill. So.
Yeah, for Sundays, you're part of that.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I want to touch on before I really get into sports. You said it a minute ago. My mind went blank. I was starting to write stuff down. I didn't get to write that.
Was it when we were talking about food?
It might have been. I'm trying to think.
You talked about how your wife and kids didn't eat everything you brought them.
Complain about them anymore.
But see, I'm the complete opposite. I have always been this way. Because growing up, my father always told me to, no matter what we were eating, my father or my mother, when we were eating, they would look at me and say, "Happy plate. If you don't make a happy plate, you cannot get up. So you have to finish everything on your plate." And I try to do that even today. Now, if I get to the point where I feel sick, I can't force it anymore.
I just told them that a minute ago.
Just got to have a happy plate.
I said, turn the TV off, and you can't watch TV or do anything else until you're done with your food. And then my daughter, she don't care. She eats 1/4 of it anyway. Well, my thing is that eat if you're hungry, that's fine.
Yeah,
you're full, okay. But I know for a fact in 2 hours they're gonna be like, "I'm hungry."
You got leftovers.
I just spent $10 on you.
Right. You got leftovers. You didn't finish. You might as well eat them.
I just spent money on you.
That's what my cousins have ran into problems with their sons for years. Both of them are easily distracted by the television or by like an iPad or something. Right. And if you just try and tell them to sit there and eat, they might take 2 bites and then they're just turning their head trying to watch television.
Right.
Or trying to watch the iPad. And, you would sit there and be like, "Hey, no, you need to eat. You cannot get up if you don't eat." And they'll just sit there and look at you.
I try not to let them eat in front of the TV for the most part. Snacks and stuff like that I do, but dinner and stuff.
I think they've gotten better at eating now, but it would be like, they would eat maybe like 2 bites out of a slice of pizza. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do with the rest of that? Like,
oh, they do that. That aggravates me. I'm like, and I especially ordered that cheese pizza for you, Chief.
Yes, that's for you. I wanted toppings, but no, you didn't.
That was all yours.
That's all yours.
Jesus. So anyway.
But I guess, I don't know, as they get older, they'll be able to just, now I will say this, my other cousin's son, it don't matter what it is, he gonna eat it. He gonna eat it. And it's unfortunate because he's got a lot of food allergies, and he would eat everything if he was able to, but he will eat anything. That boy loves to eat. Sweetest boys on the planet. But I know what you're saying. I see that, obviously, whenever I was helping with my church one year with, like, I think it was like Bible camp or something for the young kids, and it would be like snack time. And we're in there making them all snacks and stuff, and they come out. I guess it's just that age. And they're just like, eh. But you tell them growing up, you got to eat to be big and strong, and they'll take 2 bites and be like, eh, I'm finished. I'm finished. And you can't just be the fatty that you want to be and grab it from them and eat them in front of them. That's not a good look.
Well, crap, Hunter. I'm trying to find, I got a basketball schedule for you. KTC starts this week. I got to get your bags packed, but I got to get.
Oh, I know. I'll be there Friday.
Get you the information and everything. you guys are at Lincoln Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I had the sheet in here. I don't know if I think Terry took it because he was looking at it.
Unsuspectingly?
Well, not unsuspectingly, as
He
in,
just wants to
he
know.
just took it so he would know what our schedule was.
Yeah.
We start Friday, and we do have. I'm gonna go get that sheet in just a few minutes while Hunter's talking about something else. But football starts February 26th. Friday, January 8th? Yeah, Friday the 8th starts our basketball, and we're gonna be doing games every Friday night on 4 stations. Shelby, Lincoln, and Cherryville, and Forest City.
I don't have much different to talk about when you walk away. More than anything, I'm just going to sit here and ponder how long it goes before the governor shuts it all down again.
You think we're going there?
I don't know if we're going there as like a total shutdown of the state, more as the non-essential high school athletics. More than likely, I could see him saying, well, all that's going to take is one person to get it in the school, and we're just going to be like, that's it for the season. I could see it because what was everybody talking about coming into December? Well, really, November, December, January, February, into March. This is supposed to be peak flu season.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only going to expect, and I've read somewhere they're expecting a spike in February. Oh, well, what do you know is supposed to start in February?
Wasn't there only like 35 cases of flu reported last year?
I know that when you start looking into that, it gets a little bit questionable. But it's more of just, I think it's great if we can get the games in. If they're able to get these seniors, unlike they were able to do some seniors last year, able to get them in and finish out their senior year in some sports, basketball, obviously football, and then soccer plays at the same time. But I'm telling you, something in the back of my mind says if they're going to pull the plug on anything first, it will be high school athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but see, it also comes to the point where I don't know what that tipping point is. I don't know what the straw that breaks the camel's back is.
What's sad about it, Hunter, and you don't know, because the reason you don't know is because it's going to be a political decision.
You're right.
And whether or not it's medical or what's medically right, what we should do, we've seen in the past year that it's turned into all politics all across the board everywhere, and it's frustrating.
It has.
So we're gonna. You're right. We could not have any sports, which would be. I'm not saying funny, because the kids, the seniors, I feel bad for them. You know, senior years. It would be ironic to a point that the state, other states succeeded in getting theirs in. NFL played every single one of their games.
What was it? Tennessee and South Carolina both, like at least everybody surrounding us except Virginia didn't change their schedule. They basically went on with how they were scheduled out to play. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
So we don't know, as far as our governor goes, what's going to happen. Now, our plan is basketball, football, then baseball, of course. But phone calls this weekend, Hunter, or text and other things. Talk to Gene Bowles of the Yetis.
Yeah.
Cleveland Community College. They have officially got them a new home field.
Okay.
For this year. This year only, folks. For their inaugural season, the Cleveland County Baseball Yetis, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, will be playing at McNair Field in Forest City, North Carolina.
Well, good.
McNair Field. Now, that's the home of the Owls. Now, I don't know, because the Gastonia team in that league just moved out and moved to a different. Well, Gastonia decided, Hunter, which is weird. Mm-hmm. They had the Grizzlies, right?
Yes.
They decided to build a brand new
stadium,
but not for the Grizzlies. That's not for the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are leaving. Grizzlies have moved to Georgia now.
Well, who'd they build the stadium for?
Nobody.
So it's just there.
Well, they built it hoping a team would come. This is they field of dream this joker.
Ah.
So
you build it,
right?
And they will come.
And they've got they've got a independent league that's going to come.
But
I can't remember the league name or the team name that's going to come or in the exact.
But they're
working on it.
The Gastonia, but it's not the Gastonia.
It's not the Grizzlies,
who the whole area has known
for years
and thought about was going to be in that new stadium that they just built.
Right. So I'm going to show you guys some of McNair Field. Now, the stadium at Gastonia, it needed to be replaced. It's old. It's very old. But it was
That is stop.
The thing about it is, though, Hunter, it was very playable. It's very doable field for what they used it for. So it's not like it was. I mean, you wouldn't probably want it. You probably couldn't attract one of those baseball teams from a league to come in maybe with it. But for what it was used for Legion, for the Grizzlies, it was a fantastic size. So I'm showing you guys some pictures here of McNair Field. This is from the patio out in right field where you can sit in the party porch in right field. And I have never seen this, but I guess they've just put it up that they've put netting up here to protect the fans. That is one thing, Hunter. I will say that about the netting and protecting the fans is that was it's been kind of controversial the past few years, exactly like how they should do it or what they should do. The ones above the dugouts, I think those are some of the most needed. Because when that line drive comes that way,
it's just so fast.
You have nothing to protect you. You're closer than the first baseman, so all you're doing is ducking and moving.
Right.
And if you and to have that, having the dugout in front of you, it gives you some space from the field, but like the ball not hitting it, it's almost like you have no time to react.
Oh, no.
It's coming that way. So
I think those are fine. I'm not a big fan, though, of the netting down the first and third baseline, at least all the way.
Once you get past the first baseman, I was
about to say, because that kind of takes away the joy of people wanting to sit, right along the first and third baseline. Because a lot of times they want to sit there. One, it's a great seat. It is, and it's a great view. But two, you get the opportunity of trying catching a foul ball. And the foul ball is still something that a lot of kids or their parents say, hey, let's go out to the ball game. We're right down the third baseline. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a foul ball tonight. It's just one of those things. So I'm not a big fan of running the nets all the way down.
Yeah.
But I do know why they do it, because it is a safety hazard. All it took was, what was it? It was a 4 or 5 year old girl that got absolutely pegged with a baseball. And it is scary. But that's one of those things, too, where
when I sit down
you kind of understand the risk, though, when you're sitting there.
Right. That's another thing. That's one thing is how much are fans responsible for their own being. The ones there at the dugout, I think that's the most dangerous spot. And Shelby during the World Series, just sit down there for 10 minutes and you're like, this is dangerous. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, what was the one, was it a year or two ago, where a professional baseball player let that bat fly completely out of his hand and hit an older woman, which obviously is a freak accident, because you would think they'd be able to hold on to the bat while you're sitting there at the plate. But at the same time, that was right around the dugout area. Literally went over the dugout. I'm pretty sure it was his own dugout.
Yeah.
And so the net being there, fine, but I'm with you on the whole. The fans should really kind of know what they're doing when you're going to a baseball game, and the biggest draw really is trying to catch a foul ball.
I had a friend.
They don't always just pop straight up in the air.
In high school, who had his 2 front teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
At a hockey game. He wasn't playing.
Yeah.
In fact, he was walking back from the concession stand down the steps with a handful of stuff.
And the puck came over.
Puck came over the thing and hit him in the face. He never saw it. He said, I thought I was shot in the face.
Yeah.
He said everything just went up in the air all over.
And those pucks are heavy.
Oh, yeah.
They're heavy.
They hurt. I'm sure they hurt.
Man.
Because some of them get them about 100 miles per hour, can't they? Some of the big the big boys. And just think about that, Hunter, walking down the steps, and they just whap right in the mouth. And now you ain't got no teeth. And no more hockey game to watch.
And you got to think about that, though, if you're a fan. Because baseball, when you go, it is more of a social environment.
Right.
You don't have to always be paying attention to the play. You can turn and talk to your family, whoever you're there with. And so it does come down to the point sometimes on a foul ball, if you're paying attention or not.
Mm-hmm. You're right. And hope everybody, when you're not, hope the people around you are.
Yeah.
So they can tell you to heads up.
And they at least say heads up, and they're not all just going, just ducking and diving out of the way.
I think during the Yetis tournament, it was a foul ball back in the stands, and the person got up out of their seat and landed in their cup holder.
The worst ones is whenever you would go cover a little league game or something, or your kids are playing in it, or I was playing in it growing up, you were playing in it growing up, and they always put the parking lot a little bit too close to the field. And little Bobby gets up there and swings it and sends it all the way back, and it hits the other little Bobby's dad's truck.
Yeah.
And sends that alarm going off.
The ones that are I guess the most dangerous, I think, are those fields that are right beside each other, and they put them in these parks, and you foul one off, and you're watching your field, watching what's going on.
You just hope it doesn't hit you in the back of the head.
Some kid this summer hit 2 balls at once on one of those. There was a foul ball, and it landed while he was swinging on the plate, and he hit the ball and the one pitched to him at the same time. Hit 2. It was most freakiest accident you could be.
Never happen again.
Right.
Would never.
But like at that, so like in Gastonia, they've got those fields like that, but then they've got, once they making it more dangerous, between the fields, Hunter, they got play areas for the kids. So none of them are watching the game.
No.
And it's foul ball city into
Then
the
they're just
playground.
getting cracked.
Like everyone over there, don't die, kids. Like you just hoping, well, if my kid's over, I hope this one don't take him out. Like is kind of weird on that. But we're gonna have, so this spring, Hunter. We're gonna have basketball in February and March. Starting in March, we're going to have Yetis baseball in March, April, and May. But also at the end of February, we're going to have football and then high school baseball. So from this Friday until the end of the school year, we're going to be busy as crap on KTC broadcasting. Hopefully, you might as well write down every Friday night we're going to be doing something for the most part. And then, of course, we're live, me and Hunter, during the week on this show, and then Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. for Sports Talk with Tom and Terry, who, it's weird, Hunter, when his team wins, you get texts
hear everything.
every day. You get 10 texts a day every day for a week. But when one of his team loses at anything, he don't answer a text or response or call or nothing.
He becomes a hermit.
For like 2 weeks, and then gets on you about not answering your text or phone call.
Right.
I'm confused about how that man works on some of this stuff.
I am too. And what, I had a piece of paper here that he left me actually Saturday when I walked in, because he had already decided to write this down. And I guess this is a good segue to what we can start talking about. He wrote down NFC East champions at 7-9 and circled the Dallas Cowboys. And this was his prediction.
Well,
he said
those
were his score predictions. He said the Dallas Cowboys would beat the New York Giants 31-20. Turns out that didn't happen. And he said that the Philadelphia Eagles would defeat the Washington football team 27-21. Guess what? That didn't happen either. So Terry, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, but this did not happen. So I appreciate it. And I know only a true Cowboys fan would do something like that, because every year they think they're going to the Super Bowl. But that is not the case, because you get to start your Cancun trip early.
All right, Hunter, you skipped to it real quick before I warned if I was done, but we're almost done.
No, that's fine.
Baseball with the Yetis. I've got some of the schedule. They're starting January 30th. We probably won't start our broadcast, it looks like, until March 6th. Doubleheader. Against Patrick Henry, playing USC Salkehatchie, Walters, Wake Tech, Rockingham Community College, Montreat, Guilford Tech, Walters Street, Tennessee, Fayetteville Tech, and Catawba Valley will be coming to McNair Field to play the Yetis up in Forest City. One special game, and I don't know if we'll broadcast or not. I've asked him to check into it and see what's up. They will play at Gardner Webb on Wednesday, April 28th. Is the schedule?
Another question I would have
time for that.
Obviously, and I don't know if you know the answer. If we're going to stick here and talk about the Yeti for baseball for a second, it's really just more of college baseball as a whole. Is college baseball having any sort of amendments to their season, and does that affect how JUCO plays as well?
I don't know. He didn't say anything about any of that. He sent me the full schedule.
Okay.
The playoffs are May 12th through the 16th. Signed to be determined.
Because as you can see now, obviously college basketball is making their preparations.
He's still got his Junior College World Series, D2 World Series scheduled on here in Oklahoma for May 22nd. Friday, May 22nd through May 28th. So it's on his schedule.
Okay.
That they can make the World Series, but I don't know if they will. I think their biggest thing this year, starting off, will be getting their pitching right. Because if you You can go out there and you can hit the ball. The other teams are crushing your pitch, and it's
Of course,
tough to
going
do.
into a season, you always want to at least win your conference. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good stepping stone, is if they were able in year one to win your conference. That's never easy, especially when you're just getting started.
Right.
Ask UNC Charlotte how they did when they first started their football program. Struggled for at least the first 4 to 5 years. Now they're actually starting to get some traction. So I think that's a good goal to have, is to try and win the conference. But you have to kind of look at it at the same time and say, that's still kind of a high task. So to have small goals, I think that'll be something good. Maybe this year, because I don't know how many games they're playing this season.
I've got about 40 on this.
So
If
40
they got playing 20 at home, I would estimate.
So, well, if that's the case,
Around
then
40.
I think another good goal for them this year would to say, we'll stay over 500. Have a winning record at the end of the season.
I think they're just watching them hit. I think they've got a couple of decent bats, and the local kids, Hunter, they get on base a lot. Is that they've seemed to the local kids that he's pulled in, the Cashes, and God, I can't remember the other kids. One of them made Academic All America. I'll check on that in a minute. Zach Wilson did from Burns. Just you know, crap. Those kids, the Riley Cash, I can't remember the other one from Crest. They got on base a lot. The kid from Crest did Chase did pretty well. But they've got 3 or 4 hitters that can hammer it and hit the ball well, that I think will allow them to compete if the other guys get on base. I'm kind of worried about just from watching, I'd be worried about the defense more than anything. But then again, you have to remember, I was watching the same team play each other.
All right.
So I'm watching people that ain't even starters out here playing.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So I can't make a definitive judgment on the defense. I will say that I thought it was lacking. They made some poor plays, but like, how much practice have they had? Winter, no home field to practice on, and then you go play at Kings Mountain and you're catching ground balls.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just see how that affects everybody, because I think everybody's going to be at least on even playing field that way. Limited practice time, limited time just to be around your team in general. So at least it won't be like your brand new team and all these other teams have already had months upon months of working together because they've been established and they already have this step ahead of you camaraderie-wise. At least now, everybody's kind of on the same playing field. Didn't really get to get in there and get all of the preseason workouts in.
All right, Hunter, where would you like to start?
Well, we can start by going back to me ripping up this phony piece of paper that Terry left for me. So funny.
TFT?
Hail to the football team, yeah, I guess.
Should we? You know what we ought to do? Why don't we rewrite the words?
You mean for the song?
And then change it to football team and see if we can get some hits on it.
Why not?
All I need is the instrumental to Hail to the Redskins, and we can just make up our own BS.
Now here's the thing.
Hail to the football team.
But here's the problem with that. Are we going to do that, and then they're going to have a new name for them next year, and it's just going to be
we'll do a new song.
It's just going to become something completely different. We'll have to scrap it and do something completely new.
To the Red Wolves.
I think that. Well, I would love
Hail
that.
victory.
I'm just saying. Congratulations, though, to the Washington football team. At the beginning of the season, I didn't think we would be anywhere close, but I did say with Ron Rivera coming in, we could at least win 6 games. Well, guess what? We got to 7.
Wolfpack on the hunt. Fight for dinner tonight.
Something like that.
Hunter, how many wins y'all get?
We got 7.
I had you at
7 and 9. I said we could get to 6.
Had you
I
at
agreed
6.
with that. I said we could get probably anywhere between 3 and 6.
So Hunter and I was going to go through. We got all kinds of things to talk about today. We've got coaches to talk about. We've got
Firings.
Cam Newton to talk about.
Firings.
We've got, did the Philadelphia Eagles throw a football game last night?
Yes.
Hunter.
Yes.
Yes. We'll talk about that. We've got Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Did you know they combined last night for 63 points?
Yeah, and 62 of it came from Steph.
Yes. And Hunter, I about lost my mind. on that because one of the biggest tweets of the night was how great Draymond Green made this team.
Who tweeted that?
Just somebody, and then it had like 90,000 retweets talking about how great Draymond was playing. And you know what his stats were?
What was that?
1 point,
Yeah.
3 rebounds, 8 assists.
Dang. Oof. Hey, that's Mr. Triple
The
Single.
old triple single came through.
Old triple single.
They
really went
gave
to
up
work.
122 points, Hunter. And one of the tweets was Draymond's defense was just as important tonight as Steph's 62. They gave up 100. Remember, you're a defense specialist, right?
Right.
You got 1 point tonight and 3 rebounds, and the other team got 122 points, and people are telling you played well. What world are we in? Where do we live? Like what? These players end up with some type of publicist that just whoever his publicist is the greatest on the planet.
Right.
Is that no matter what we're talking about, people were talking about. There was one. He's way better than Rodman. Saw that one.
What?
Talking about Dennis Rodman. He's better than him. Now
At what?
At everything. One of the responses was. So here's my. I went and looked at some stats on Rodman and Draymond. I wanted to retweet these people. I get to the point, Hunter. If you look at my Twitter feed, I have 100 saved drafts that I never responded.
If I was you, I'd just make a burner
and start talking
shit to everybody.
I told Amy I want to do that. I was like, I should start some type of just a picture of a dog and be like, you suck at sports. Just name it like that and just talk shit to everybody.
Yeah, just a burner.
I like the idea, Hunter.
Just do it. Because then think about it. All that pent up aggression that you have towards these people, you can just let it out.
I could be the Kevin Durant.
Exactly. And nobody would know.
There's this one guy on Twitter, and that's his job. I mean, literally, that's his job. All he does is troll people.
Yeah.
And in his Twitter feed, he's got his pay or Cash App or whatever, and that's how he makes his living. Is people donate money to him
to troll
people, and he posts them. So he'll post them, and it'll be like, people will be like, just say some random shit to him. And here's $150. Like you're just like, what kind of world is this?
Making money being a troll.
We talked Saturday that the highest paid YouTuber is 9 years old.
Right. It's just,
and we have genius, fun programming here, and a 9-year-old kicks our ass.
I mean, it's strange.
So Dennis Rodman, Hunter. Let's look at him for a sec. They want to keep bringing him. I don't know why, and whoever started this mess with Dennis Rodman. But folks, y'all got to stop this shit. First of all, you know what Draymond's averaging this year? 0.5. And people are like, one of the comments is like, there's more than things than people's points per game. You people don't watch the game. And I'm like,
I thought this.
It's 137 to 122. Pitch in more than 2.
Not only that, pretty sure the name of the game is to score more points than the other team and you win.
I mean, okay.
I want people to realize that when you say that there is more to a game than scoring points, I'm like, well, then how else do you win if you don't score points?
Put it this way. If we had 5 Draymonds on the court or 5 Stephs, which would be better? Think about it. 5 times 62 is 310. 5 times 1 is 5. But by God, Hunter, this is the LaMelo Ball thing. He made some great passes.
LaMelo doesn't play pretty
good. In a
good.
137 to 122 point game, we're talking about a pass.
Listen, could I make the argument right now LaMelo's better than Draymond Green? Right now? Can I make that argument right now?
No, I hate you.
I could, though. Right now. Right now.
Listen, I hate you. And you could.
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
Exactly.
That's like saying, is Melo the least nutty turd in the toilet bowl? He's still a turd, but he doesn't stink as bad as Draymond.
Kevin, he's been playing good.
Huh?
What are you talking about? His numbers have not been horrible.
4-4?
He only had that terrible first game.
11-4-4?
Yeah, that is skewed from him dropping the goose egg in game 1.
He had one good game.
Whoa.
And one
he's
bad.
had maybe 3 games.
How's that? How many times he scored more than 20?
Okay, maybe once.
Okay, there you go.
But I told you, I said if he could go 10 and 10 in his career, it'd be decent.
Listen, I will never argue the kid's not going to get 10 and 4, 10 and 5, 5 and 5. He's not getting a double-double. That's not going to happen. The the thing about it is, Hunter, that's a great pick at 10th or 12th or 13th.
I know
it's not
you're mad
at number
because it's
3.
the 3rd pick, but I'm sitting there telling you he's not playing bad. He's not playing like he's the next coming of Michael Jordan.
Right.
But he's not playing
Jordan got
bad.
Jordan got picked 3rd. Wilt Chamberlain, you know what he averaged his rookie year? 39.
That was a man amongst boys.
He's 6'8" guard.
That was a man amongst boys.
Shit.
How old was Wilt Chamberlain when he got drafted?
Probably 14. I don't know, Hunter. I don't know. But all I'm saying is Jordan went 3rd and he averaged 30. He's all-time leading scorer.
Okay.
Wilt Chamberlain, Hunter, averaged 37 and 27 his rookie season.
That's a man amongst boys. What did I tell you?
27 rebounds a game. Shit. Oh, God.
LaMelo is not playing bad.
Put it this way, Hunter. He's averaging the same number of assists per game that Wilt Chamberlain averaged in his career.
So he's Wilt.
Yeah, he's the Wilt Chamberlain of point guards.
There we go.
4.4 assists, the same as Wilt Chamberlain did in his career. Averaged the same number of assists. There you go.
But I'm not wrong.
He's not
saying today.
He's not a number 3 pick.
I'm not wrong saying today LaMelo is better than Draymond Green.
So Draymond in his career averaged, total. All right, Hunter. Let me find it. Rebounds for you folks. Here we go. I want people to watch along while I'm doing this so they can see the ridiculousness. So rebounds for Draymond here. And that's one thing everybody talks about. You know, his defense and rebounding.
And listen, everybody, out of everybody that watches us on Saturday mornings, there's only one person at this table that thinks Draymond is the heart and soul of that team, and he sits right
Terry
here.
Reinhart.
But other than that, none of us do.
All right, so here's your Draymond stats for this garbage-ass basketball player. He's only averaged in double digits 4 of his 8 years. He's never in his career averaged 10 rebounds a game. And if you talk to anybody, they'd be like, Draymond, he's a good defender. He's Dennis Rodman, Hunter.
What, Rodman at one time averaged, 15?
Oh, wait till I get to Rodman. It's not even, you're going to be like, why do people even bring up? Draymond's best year was 9.5 rebounds a game. His best assist year was 7.5. It was actually in the same season. And his best scoring year, all in the same season.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Draymond Green's got a Defensive Player of the Year award too, doesn't he?
I think so. So Draymond's best year, folks, ever in his career is 14, 9, and 7. 14, 9, and 7. Rodman's best year scoring is 11.5, which we all knew that. But he averages 7.3 in his career. Draymond averages 8.9. So a grand total of 1 more point better. Rebounds, Hunter. The best one he ever had was 18 a game. Draymond's best average was 9.5. Twice as many rebounds was his best. Rodman had years, after his first 4 years in the league, he didn't play. Get this, Hunter. His first 4 years in the league were started at age 25.
Old.
So Rodman didn't start doing well. He didn't make an All-Star. He made 2 All-Stars in his career at 28 and 30 in Detroit. Here's his reboundings after 4 years. 12, 18, 18, 17, 16, 15, 16, 15, 11, and 14. He had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight 10 rebound seasons. Draymond Green has played 9 years and has not had one. This is the old Mike Trout Pujols thing all over again. How about this, Hunter? Here's the one I was going to go at. In Draymond's career, he has a grand total, folks, of 3,973 rebounds. Rodman had a 3-year span with more than that. So in Draymond's 8+ years, he had 3,900 rebounds. And then when you look at Dennis Rodman's years from, here it is, my rebound totals. In 92, 93, and 94, he had 4,000 rebounds. In just 3 seasons, 92, 93, and 1994, Dennis Rodman had more rebounds in those 3 years than Draymond Green has had in his career. Don't bring those two up again. They're not the same. And especially, Hunter, I think it's an insult to talk about Dennis Rodman. The one that insults the most is when they say Barkley.
Oh,
Like,
Draymond
come
and
the hell
Barkley.
on. No. Barkley's top 20 all time. Draymond's not top 20 in the league now.
He never has been.
He never has been. And we're talking about, like, putting him on the Olympic.
I don't think people
Roster was
remember that
ridiculous.
Golden State had 2 picks that year. They took Draymond, and Draymond wasn't even their first pick. It was Harrison Barnes.
And I was so mad they got rid of Harrison instead of him, because I thought that team. And again, my thoughts kind of prove it right a little bit. Is that I thought that team excels when you have another. You got to have a guy that can get to the bucket and score.
A wing scorer.
Right. So Clay's a spot up shooter. For the most part, Curry's that. Not really spot up, but he shoots on the move. That last one he made last night. Did you see that? The 62.
I did not.
So Draymond dribbled it to the 3-point line. Curry was behind him. Draymond turned around and just handed it to him, said the most illegal screen ever with his ass and hands, held back the defense. And Curry, as soon as he touched the ball, Hunter, it came out of his hands.
Cash.
And just swap, 62. So
Did you want to know what's so funny though? Before just this a little just a little tidbit some people really didn't realize. Did you realize that the day before he dropped 62, he was complaining about how people were saying he was washed?
yeah, they were.
And then look at him.
Yeah,
look
it's
what he
just
did
ignorant.
last night.
It's just ignorant. Like, and looking at
They were like he had bad 5 games.
so they won it with Barnes,
Yeah.
and they lost it when Draymond got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Then they traded Barnes or let him go to sign Durant. And then they won with Durant. And then when he got hurt, they didn't win.
Right.
Again, they win when the small forward plays well. Like, would you not rather have 17 and 8 or 17? What is? Let me see what Harrison Barnes averages. It's got to be, not reputable. 17 and 4. What do you think he averages rebounds?
Rebounds? Maybe 5.
Like,
I mean, he's big bodied. He's
not
6'8".
small, but
No.
but again, he's not known as a hustle. 8 rebounds a game.
He averages 8 rebounds a
Same
game.
thing Draymond does. Draymond gets 8.9.
What is Harrison Barnes on his career?
16 no, this year he's 16 and 8, career 14 and 5.
Okay. It's not bad.
Would you rather have 14 and 5 or 6 and 8?
Well, I will say this. Seeing how the name of the game is to win by points,
Right. Again,
I would take the 14 and 5.
I will always be the one, no matter what question you ask me. You can tell me how many rebounds, blocks, whatever. Did he get
points
10
does he score?
points? Like if Chamberlain got 5 and 27 a game,
Nobody care.
he'd
What?
make the Hall of Fame like Rodman did. But damn, he wouldn't be one of the greatest ever. He's one of the greatest ever because he's one of the best scorers ever. Name all the greatest ever. It's the top 10 in scoring. Almost all of them.
Oh,
for
you're
the most
right.
part. And
Well, it's just so funny because, like you said, they're going to come around and say there's more to the game than in basketball than just scoring. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. There's rebounds, there's defense, there's assists, and there's steals. But at the end of the day, how do you win the game?
if they would,
I have more. Even if the final score is 10-8,
Yeah.
I won because I have more points than you did.
I just want people to call him what he is, and that's a role player. This
No, Draymond is not. He's not. To me, anywhere else, he's not a starter.
right. They're calling him a Hall of Famer on some of this stuff, and you're just like, what Hall of
Do
Famer
you-
besides Rodman didn't average double digits?
Do
And
you
Rodman
know-
averaged double-digit rebound.
Do you know what will get Draymond Green into the Hall of Fame? He is a 3-time NBA champion. That is what will get him in the Hall of Fame. Just like Rodman has 4 rings.
But they ain't even close.
Actually, how many does Rodman
got
have?
5.
5. I was going to say, he had 2 with the Pistons.
Hunter, he's got 5 rings.
Yeah.
He's got 7 rebounding titles. Draymond has no rebounding titles. 2-time All NBA. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. 8-time All Defensive. And if you watch the Shaq documentary, he'll say he's about the only person that could give him shit. Him and Olajuwon. Shaq
And
gives
what's so
Olajuwon
funny is Shaq towers over Rodman.
Right, it's not even close, and weight-wise. But it's about feet. It's about moving your feet. And that's why when you talk about Shaq and that, and you're like, Well, if anybody that watched it saw Olajuwon dust him. So I've seen Olajuwon dust everybody. And every time Olajuwon had a decent, like a number 2 guy, he made the finals with Ralph Sampson earlier in his career. And then he gets over here he didn't have nothing for years, and then finally he wins one with Sam Cassell and Kenny Smith as the number 2 players, and Otis Thorpe.
Hey, we love us some Kenny Smith
Clyde
around here.
jumped on the bandwagon on that and helped out for the second one. I do wish the Rockets would have got a chance to play the Bulls. It would have been fun to watch. The second one, Hunter, that's what I really wanted. Barkley and them to come to the Bulls, but that was just at the end of Barkley's career. Scotty and the Bulls, when Scotty got there, it was definitely that Jordan wasn't even there. But I thought it'd be neat to see those guys go against it. They talk about Shaq, Hunter. He got swept by Olajuwon, and then the next year he got swept by Luke Longley. Correct or not correct?
He did.
Swept by Luke Longley. So, I mean, they bring up and they say, well, Shaq won. I saw what he did. And, well, all right. Anyway, Steph scored 62 last night with the big shots.
Tonight he plays against who we just talked about, Harrison Barnes and the Sacramento Kings.
The Hornets are 2-4, Hunter.
Yes.
And their 2 wins are against the 2 best teams in the NBA.
And guess what? They might get if it follows trend, they might get win number 3 tonight because they play the best in the East in the Philadelphia 76ers.
Easy win tonight for the Hornets.
Easy dub. Bet on the Hornets.
We smoked. We smoked the Mavericks and
the Nets.
Are you saying you wouldn't bet on the Hornets tonight?
Anything I say, something's going to go wrong here. Well, here's the thing.
As a gambler, that's a great bet.
Yes, yeah, okay.
If you want to make some money.
Yeah, but what did I say, though? I said bet on the Hornets. So that means everybody's going to bet against what I just said, which is bet on who they play, the 76ers. The thing is, though.
Did you know that Kwame and Kobe combined to score 63 one time, too?
Kobe had 62 and Kwame had 1.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Charlotte, I think the reason why Charlotte was able to get Dallas and the Nets is because it's still early. And the Nets obviously are still working on what they're working on. And, hell, the Nets lost the game the other night they weren't supposed to lose to Washington. That's just because Kyrie and Kevin Durant missed game-winning shots.
Who's their center?
Who?
Oh, they got DeAndre Jordan. They really don't have a weakness. And I don't understand.
Not really. Defensively, DeAndre's great. No, it's probably just getting rotation down.
Because if Kyrie gets in
well, it does hurt them.
Dinwiddie.
No, Dinwiddie's out ACL. That's the only thing that hurts. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, that was that's what I was about to say when you said what's their weakness, and when you said depth, I'm like, I don't know who comes in and plays. And of course Dinwiddie doesn't come in and play as good as Kyrie, but he's not bad.
He's good.
He's not bad. When he played last year, when Kyrie didn't play, he was still averaging almost 20-something a game. So he's not bad, but he's out with an injury. What it's probably going to be, and I think I'll give Terry credit this on Saturday, I think he spoke on a little bit as well, is it kind of goes into play with me when I say they're just going to get rotations down, playing together. But to give Terry credit, I think it's also coming down to coaching. Because this is Steve Nash's first time being a head coach. And I don't know how much of this is just Steve Nash or if it's D'Antoni trying to come in and also be the guy that kind of puts his touch on the offense at the same time. If you're looking at NBA games tonight, you've got Cleveland and Orlando. Who would have thought both of these teams would have a winning record at this point? 4-2 for both of them. At 7 o'clock, also at 7 o'clock, the Charlotte Hornets. We are affiliates of the Charlotte Hornets. They are playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 5-1, best record in the East. 7:30, the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. The Knicks are 3-3. The Hawks are 4-2. 7:30, OKC and Miami. Miami runners-up in last year's championship, and they're 2-3. Still early in the season. 8 o'clock, Dallas and Houston. 2-4 is Dallas. Houston is 2-2. And at 10 o'clock tonight, the late night game, obviously West Coast game, Sacramento and Golden State. I don't really know much. I can't really comment much about it at many of these teams except for what I've seen from Charlotte, and I think Houston's going to be a little bit of a factor in the East if they're able to keep everybody together, but mostly that's because football's still been going on. You know, with what is happening in the bowl games, with college football, and all of the big games that were this weekend, getting the playoffs set up in the NFL, so I can't really comment much on what I've seen out of a lot of these teams in the NBA, but I will say this. I think that Dallas-Houston matchup is and I know it's only game, really, 6 or 7 for both of these teams.
Dude, Hornets beat the Mavericks. I'm just telling you.
No, the
Regular
Mavericks got
season?
blown out the other night.
I mean, regular season, I'm putting Kristaps not playing right now, ain't he?
No.
Oh, yeah. So
No. But at the
you
same
can't do
time,
it by yourself, man. You just can't.
like I said, I haven't seen much of this. I think it's if you look at this 7 o'clock game and you just go based off of how these two teams were last year, you would never have thought that Cleveland and Orlando both have a winning record through 6 games, 4-2. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Philadelphia, best record in the East, 5-1. Miami, runners up in the championship, 2-3. I mean, you look at that. They got the same record as who you claim is the team that has the worst roster in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's who they play.
do. Like, I don't know. Oklahoma, I don't know how they win a game. Like, they're odd. Like that. So there's the NBA power rankings.
Oh, they
according
beat
to
Charlotte.
Right. The Pistons are last. Bulls 29th. I like the Bulls roster.
Dude,
actually.
I was about to say, as soon as I saw that, the Bulls they've got gamers all over the court.
Yeah.
Kobe White, I think in his past 3 games has dropped 20 plus. Zach LaVine comes out, drops 29. I mean,
So
they've got
Levine's averaging
gamers.
24, Markkanen's averaging 17, White 16, Porter 15, Wendell Carter 12. They got 5 people in double figures, and Patrick Williams, a rookie, and Thaddeus Young averaging 9. Like, they got a decent.
They got a solid, and not to mention Billy Donovan is the head coach there now. I don't quite understand why it's not vibing. Maybe they've just had bad matchups here early. We have to remember again, it's most of these teams have only played 6 games, but still, like, I think Chicago's got a whole lot of talent.
I knew I shouldn't have even read Charlotte. All it does is talk about LaMelo.
Yo, duh.
Bismack Biyombo is leading the team in scoring right now, I think. No, he's not, but let me go. Let's look at the Charlotte stats real quick, how god-awful this mess is. So, Scary Terry, your boys averaging 23. Hayward 18, LaMelo 11, Washington 11, Bismack 10, Miles 10, and Devontae Graham Hunter has not been playing well at all. 9 points, 7 assists. Last year he averaged 19 and 8. I think he's.
You think he's disgruntled?
I don't think he's disgruntled as much as it's in his head. Because last year if he misses a shot and he's a rookie, they might even give him another shot to make another one before they take him out. And now, if him or Terry starts missing shots, they're putting in their number 3 pick.
Right.
And so it's a totally different dynamic.
But it's one of those things where, I mean, don't you think it's expected, though, when they saw they drafted LaMelo at 3?
Right. And,
Like,
and
that's what's unfortunate.
That's when he should have been mad.
Yeah, if he
Him or
can
Terry.
he can be mad.
Him or
Absolutely.
Terry.
Both him and Terry can both be mad. But at the same time, you know, as a fan base, if you got a guy you pick at 3, you kind of expect him to play at some point, or if not, start.
But what sucks as a fan base is your 2 best scorers
or your guards.
are the guys ahead of him.
Yes.
So the draft pick one doesn't make sense, and then 2 again the match of the team doesn't make sense.
I told you why they made the pick, because this has made Charlotte
Right.
the most relevant they have been
They've
probably
had
in
more
the last
tweets.
20
Right.
years.
They've had more tweets this year because all these fanboys like LaMelo, and it's insane. Like them and the Draymond people.
I'm not a fanboy, but I will say, LaMelo, I will admit to tell you this. I think LaMelo is playing better than I thought he would have played.
I tell you what,
I had a big question mark about
he's
him
playing
because
exactly like I thought he'd play. The same thing his brother gets. 11, 4, and 4. That's who they are.
the difference is, to me, though, is Lonzo's on like year 4. This is LaMelo just as a rookie.
Yeah, Lonzo did that in his rookie year too. Lonzo never gotten better. I'm saying I don't think they're ever going to get better. I think what you're getting right there is the same thing you'll always have.
I think LaMelo could get better. But I don't know about Lonzo. LiAngelo is, we ain't even talking about LiAngelo. He ain't even playing. But LaMelo, I think he has the tools to get better. My question mark around this team is still the head coach, and it has nothing to do with him questioning who the hell I was when I was there at Media Day or whenever I was there for post-game interviews. That's not the point. I just don't know what he's trying to do with this team. I don't know
Put it
what.
this way.
Like,
Bismack Biyombo is averaging 10, 8, and 3.
right.
LaMelo is averaging 11, 5, and 2. Bismack Biyombo is getting more assists than LaMelo is. No, that's PJ. Sorry. LaMelo's getting 4. LaMelo's getting 11, 4, and 4. Bismack's getting 10, 7, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the exact same production
Right.
from your number 3 pick as Bismack Biyombo.
What I'm getting at is that's what I'm talking about with Borrego. I don't know how he's wanting to run this system. If it's going to be very guard centric, you would think you would have more out of Devontae Graham.
I think Hayward's the key in it, Hunter, because whether you go big or small, he needs to be on the court.
Oh, regardless.
And if you're playing 3 guards
on that team, I can sit here and say, and I know obviously the stats don't show it for now, but Gordon Hayward's the best player on that starting lineup. He is.
he's averaging 19, 5, and 5.
He is.
Now, the PER for the Hornets, only one person, 2 people's above 17, but Caleb Martin don't count. He's only playing 15 minutes a game. The only person above, when I say that, folks, if you want a PER, the average players is 16 is your average number.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at 17, that's just barely above average. That's where LaMelo and Gordon Hayward is right now. Bismack is 16. Rozier's the only person above it, and he's at 19. So Rozier's the only person playing above average for an example, Hunter. He's 19. Harden's 35 in player efficiency rating. So he's almost double. Our best player is almost getting doubled up by James Harden PR.
I don't know. It's tough because, like you said, both of your core players outside of Gordon that you just acquired this year are guards.
In LaMelo's
the
division.
fan base
Somebody
is
has got to go.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. The fan base wants LaMelo, or at least a good majority of them, because, like you said, if you're going to take him at the 3 pick, you've got to play. That's in any sport. That's in baseball, football, basketball, anything. You a top 5 pick, you're expected to play. Mm-hmm. And then like you said, Devontae's playing down, but that's kind of just because he has to rotate between Terry and LaMelo.
I think he's looking over his shoulder, and when you're doing that,
but which one do you move off of? Terry's playing the better out of the 3, Terry's got the bigger contract.
Right, you definitely get rid of him for the general manager. Now the coach might want Terry, but the general manager, if you're running an organization, Hunter, I get to again. I would have moved Terry before the season started. If I knew I was going to pick LaMelo, or even as soon as I picked him, I would have moved Rozier then. Because you don't get rid of a guy who you got in the second round who you can pay $1 million for a guy you have to pay $20 million to get the same production if it comes up to it.
They messed up not making the Terry Rozier Julius Randle trade.
Yeah, probably. Well, Hunter, your Wizards are undefeated in 2021.
Yep, 2-0 so far.
Can't beat them.
Nope.
Unstoppable.
Well, I will say this. It is helpful that Rui is back in the lineup.
Did you see? Did you see him get shook by Durant and dunked on? That's one of the big tweets going around. Is Rui come up on Durant?
Yeah.
And that's who he's supposed to guard. Mm-hmm. And Durant, he don't even fast dribble. Mm-hmm. He slow crosses over it, but he's 7 foot, so I guess it seems like a hesitation. Mm-hmm. So he crosses Rui up, right?
Right.
Rui realizes it, slips and stops, and just stands there like a dodo. But and Durant realized it. Durant was about to pull the jumper. But when he saw Rui stand still, Durant kept with his dribble, took one more dribble, and just yammed it on everybody. And that's everybody's making fun of Hachimura spinning in circles.
Hachimura is only in his 2nd season, and he's going against probably one of the greatest scorers of all time. I think I'm going to give him a pass.
I like him. It was just funny.
But I do like Rui. I think Rui, he adds another, to me, he's what we were just talking about with Harrison Barnes and Kevin Durant where they were with Golden State.
You got to have a wing scorer.
He is our wing scorer. All right, he plays the 3 for us or the 4, depending on if Avdija is going to be in the lineup.
What champion
didn't have a good wing scorer?
I can only think of one in the last 20 years, and I may be wrong, and that's the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, it was just Dirk, but even then, everybody else around him was...
Everybody around him used to be an all-star /
Sean Marion was getting old. J.J. Barea was
old in their career.
A midget.
But again, like almost every single team, D-Wade, Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Durant.
Kawhi.
So Steph Curry, but he won it with both his 2 wins had Harrison Barnes and
Kevin Durant
on the team. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever talks about Harrison Barnes.
No, it's Kevin Durant.
And then Dirk is the only one I can think of that didn't have a premier wing player on the team. 1 in 20 years. So there you go. Since Jordan retired, we've had 1 in 22 years, and it was Dirk. Other than that, it's been all small forward shooting guards and trying to everybody be like Mike. I'm gonna find this Durant Hachimura. And it's just like I said,
Let the poor
like,
boy be okay.
Like it wasn't even bad. It wasn't even that bad. It doesn't look that bad until
Right.
you see Durant realize, oh shit, I've shook this kid and he don't know where he's at. Then he just dunks it. Hey, do you know how to spell Hachimura?
Hachimura. Hachimura.
Oh, okay. So it's not as hard as you think.
No. Hachi in Japanese is 8.
Okay. Oh, is he half Japanese?
Yes, he
Okay.
is. He is
Gotcha.
the
Is he the first?
I think he is the first, because here's the thing, it's not just that he's half Japanese, he's Japanese born. Like,
Okay.
he is from Japan.
All right. Oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. Might not get it at all. I better make sure that's the right one before I play it and we get kicked off.
Yeah.
I put Durant and but this is definitely not it because Durant was going the other way. Here it is. Sorry. Ha! Poor Hachi. So this is Durant taking Hachi to the spin cycle, Hunter. Look what time it is in the game. First quarter.
Poor kid.
9 minutes. Cross. He stands still. Oh, well, I'll just dunk on everybody. So let's go this in slow motion. Now remember, he's 7 foot.
Right.
So these crossovers aren't fast.
No, but they're long.
But who's used to a 7-footer crossing you up that can pull
Nobody.
from 30? So he goes left. Now Hachi's like, oh shit, he's going to the rack.
Yeah.
And then Durant does the step back on him. He pulls the string, whoop. And then right here, Durant's setting up for the shot.
Yeah.
That's his shot. Ball in left hand. That's how I like to shoot. Is one step to my left and pull. And Hachi turns around. Durant's like, whoop. Yeah, just dunk on everybody. Welcome to the NBA,
One of
Hachi.
the greatest scorers on a second-year player.
Right.
Here we go.
100%. I just think it was just funny. It was a good move. Memphis at 23, Golden State all the way back at 22 right now. They're 3-3, Hunter, and they've already kicked them out of the league.
I'll say this though. I think they'll still struggle. I think they will. The problem is they're not getting the production they thought they were going to get out of.
What was that?
It died.
Okay.
Yeah, they aren't
got
getting
power.
nearly the production that they thought they were going to get out of Kelly Oubre when they made the trade for him. They traded for him when they found out that Clay was going to be unable to go.
Mm-hmm.
They were hoping that because Kelly, he's one of those guys that can be a wing scorer. I mean, he's a small forward. He can drive the lane. He can get you buckets, and sometimes he can shoot a 3. Well, he went like his first 3 games 0 for from the 3-point line, and just now is learning how to hit a 3-point shot again. So it's just not working out quite how they thought it was going to be. And I figured after Clay went down that they would have struggles. I did. But I thought they could still at least make the playoffs as long as Steph was there. And I liked the Wiseman pick. Wiseman's turned out to be a real upside for them with that pick. So we'll just see how it goes. Tonight will be a big testament on really, I think, how the rest of their season goes. And it's only because we've known Sacramento for the past few years of being kind of like a joke. Just an organization. They've got some talented players, but they just don't win. And so if they lose tonight to Sacramento, then to me that's going to be a really big red flag that says, okay, something still isn't right here. They're not going to be as bad as they were last year, but they're not a playoff team.
So NBA has 38 people. Let's round up. 39 with Zion, averaging 20 points a game. Hornets got 1. Terry Rozier. Here's who's ahead of LeBron. This is kind of fun to talk about. Christian Wood,
Balling.
averaging more
Houston.
points and rebounds than LeBron right now.
Balling.
He's got a better PER than LeBron right now, averaging 24 a game. Jamal Murray, 24. Brandon Ingram, 24. Jason Tatum, Luka, Zach LaVine and Embiid. Paul George at 25. Colin Sexton cracks the top 10 Hunter at 26 points a game. Dame at 9th. Kyrie 8th. Jaylen Brown and McCollum tied at 6th. Trae Young and Durant tied at 4. Bradley Beal at 3. Steph Curry at 2. And James Harden is first. It's just amazing. You look at these stats, folks, and see. So James Harden, everybody's like, oh God, look at this. He averaged 37 a game in 3 games. Jordan did that in 82. Michael Jordan did that in 82 games, Hunter, with 10 less three-point attempts per game. He's averaging 11 threes a game. Jordan averaged 1.8.
I think Houston's got something, though, if they're able to convince him to stay.
You think they're going to move him or keep staying?
Here's a well, I mean, if you look around the league and teams right now, obviously we're only 6-7 games in. Teams are trying to figure out what they got and maybe if they're real contenders. And if they really have some piece that they could move that would intrigue the Rockets enough to want to move off of the guy that's leading the league in scoring, in James Harden. So I don't know if that's going to be the case for anybody.
Let's call them and offer them everything, but LaMelo, I'll offer him LaMelo.
Hell, I don't care. If they wanted
30 points a game.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, because you look at the rumors that were he needs to go to Philadelphia. Well, they got the best record in the East. Do they really want to mess up what they have going on right now? They said, oh, well, he wants to go to the Nets. Do the Nets really need him with what they have right now and they're cooking? Do you not think it would make it worse?
And they're saying D'Antoni doesn't want him.
Well, there you go. Your old coach doesn't even want you now. So he's running out of places. You know, one of the places that was being tossed around as a possible place that would trade for him or that he would like to go, because he made it clear if he gets traded, he wants to be traded to a contender. He wants to ring chase right now. One of them was Milwaukee. I think he would fit Milwaukee because Giannis is a back-to-the-basket type of player getting in the lane, and it's not going to clog up for James Harden to take his shots. But the problem is what's Milwaukee got to give up that they didn't already just give up for Drew Holiday and everybody? They have to give up what they just acquired in Drew Holiday and everybody to get James Harden. So to me, James is going to run out of. They're going to run out of places that they can find a trade partner with. And whether he likes it or not, I think he's going to have to end up staying in Houston this year. But if he was to just sit down and look around at his supporting cast, I think he would really enjoy it and stay. I think he could buy in.
Yeah.
Because John Wall, I know John Wall can score, but at the same time, he can get you 12 assists. He can go out there and facilitate James Harden the ball.
There must have been something.
DeMarcus Cousins can spread the floor.
Yeah.
And Christian Woods has come out of nowhere and is balling.
But if he plays with those 4 guys, that's a tough lineup to deal with. And
it is.
The thing about it is, it just may be you know how people are nowadays, Hunter. It might just be a personnel thing. He might not. The people that, when he originally came there, are no longer in the building.
Right.
There's no Daryl Morey. There's no D'Antoni. There's no. Maybe
none of his buddies.
Right. Maybe even some players or teammates or other people there. None of them are there anymore. And
he just needs to change the scenery.
Yeah. Maybe he thinks he can win more in the East than he can.
Well, he probably can in the East. The problem is, well, I will say this, though. If you're wanting to go to a team in the East, you don't need to just narrow your eyes to only like the 76ers and the Nets, because James Harden on any team in the East is going to be better than what they already are.
That's true. But again, James Harden, you have to look at it this way for him, too, though. If I join any team in the East, can I beat the 76ers?
Oh, I know. It comes out.
Can I beat Kevin Durant?
That's what I said. He's essentially, when he picks out teams like that, he's ring chasing.
Yeah.
He knows that these are going to be the best opportunities for me to go and win a championship.
He's got to figure out, can I beat Durant or not? And if he can't, then you got to go out west and try to beat the Lakers and them. I'm going to finish up the power rankings. Denver Nuggets, I'm going to talk about them. They're at 15th. So, Hunter, real quick, Raptors are 1-4, and they're at 18th. Golden State is 3-3, and they're at 22.
I don't quite understand that.
Mavericks 14, Pelicans, Trailblazers, Hawks at 11, Celtics 10, Pacers 9, Jazz, Phoenix Suns at 7. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
It's funny,
Chris Paul was going to make them
I
lot better.
They have Phoenix Suns at 7, but I'm pretty sure Phoenix right now has got the best record in the West.
They got the best record in the league, I think. They're tied with Philadelphia at 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both. Nope, they lost. They're 5-2 now.
Okay.
So they're at 5-2. They got Nets at 4, Sixers 3, which I don't think the Sixers can beat the Nets. You gonna pick Ben Simmons to outdo?
I don't know.
Who's picking Ben Simmons and Embiid to outscore Durant and Kyrie?
I don't know.
Because that's really what it comes down to, is a 2-on-2 matchup, like we did with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
You got to outscore these two, and then everybody else is going to get 40. I don't see that. Lakers at 1. So I want to talk a couple of quick things real quick. Let's talk about these dumbass Denver Nuggets. And Hunter, they're, 2-4? And here,
I'll let you go on that Denver
I'm gonna go
spiel
on it.
real quick. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I'm going to go a quick tangent. Jamal Murray's averaging 24. How about the Joker is averaging a triple-double at 22 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds. 22 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds. So I'm going to want Hunter back for some of this, but I'm going to go through this. He's playing Bol a grand total of 4 minutes a game. I just can't. I can't take it anymore. Trade him right now, please. I'm talking to you, Denver. I'm talking to the coach, the owner, the general manager. You have to trade Bol now. One, you'll probably get something decent for him. Two, why do you have him on the team if you're not going to play him? I don't get it. It makes no sense. He's 7'2" and can shoot threes. He can dribble and he blocks shots. But let's not play him. Here's all the people getting more minutes than Bol. Of course, Jamal Murray and Jokic. But then we get silly. Gary Harris is getting 30 minutes a game, and his PER is 4. 30 minutes a game, he's averaging 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. I will bet everything on my life that Bol, if he played 31 minutes a game, would get more than 1 rebound and more than 1 assist. Take this. Gary Harris sucks right now. Take his ass out of there. Monte Morris, which I think I may be able to shoot better than him, is 27 minutes a game, 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 16 PER. Will Barton started last year, was doing pretty decent, and injuries affected him. He's got a PER of 10 in 27 minutes a game. Paul Millsap was a corpse last year in the playoffs. Just a corpse. Just god-awful, terrible last year in the playoffs. He's averaging 12 points a game in 25 minutes. JaMychal Green, averaging 11 points in 19 minutes. PJ Dozier, 6 points in 18 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just named 6 people he could take minutes from. Isaiah Hartenstein. Who the hell is that? I don't know, but he's playing 9 minutes and Bobo's getting 4. Campazano. Who the fuck that is? 9 points a game. No, 9 minutes a game, averaging 3. So, for some reason, we're playing this dude 9 minutes a game, the 3rd string point guard, the 4th string point guard is getting 9 minutes a game, and Bobo 4. Isaiah Hartenstein. Who the hell is that? 9 minutes a game at center. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you're going to just get rid of him. Get rid of him. Who is this jackass? Isaiah Hartenstein. Bio. Second round, his second season, second round pick. I can't even get what college this dude's from. What the hell? Just god awful. Let's see if I can get it. Isaiah something. Like, I don't even know the dude's name. Where'd he go? God, he sucks. Where'd he go? Isaiah. Hunter, you know who the hell Isaiah Hartenstein is?
Nope.
Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein.
No clue.
I'm still trying to figure out what college he's from. I ain't got to it yet. Shit.
No
He didn't even go to
clue.
college. Hunter, he went.
He play overseas?
Yes. Wherever Artland is in Zalgiris. Is that China? He's from Oregon, but he didn't play in America. With Germany in 2017. He's a German-American professional basketball player for the Denver Nuggets. So he did not go to college. He played in Germany, Hunter. Okay?
Yes.
You following me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
And this fucker is getting 9 minutes a game and Bobo 4 at the center position. Picked in the second round, 9 minutes a game, and Bobo is getting 4. I just went down the list of everybody getting more minutes. How about Gary Harris, Hunter? He's averaging 7 points. His PR is 4. 31 minutes a game. Why? Why? I don't even know who the hell Isaiah Hartenstein is. He's getting 9 minutes a game, twice as many as Bol Bol. So is Facundo Campazano. Ever heard of him?
I don't, I'm sitting here, and I'm in the same boat as you when I sit and think about why Bol Bol has such a time limit, or how can I say this, a lack of time on the court. And it's not that they're trying to hide him like he's some sort of secret weapon, or else he would come out more in like the third or fourth quarter, play about 10 to 15 minutes. No, it's not the case. They play him for 4 minutes.
Nothing.
They play him a minute a quarter.
They post so many like videos and stuff of him kicking everybody's ass in practice.
Maybe he's pissed somebody off.
Like who again? Like if you're playing Hunter, and this again, remember this is the NBA when they say you got to be able to guard somebody. Well, shit. You guys are giving up. You're 2-4. You're giving up 116 a game. Who are you guarding now?
Nobody.
So again, let's look up.
Are they afraid he's going to get hurt?
I want to get to that
size?
in just a second too. Let me finish these guys. Monte Morris, 27 a game, Hunter. These are minutes. Will Barton, 27 a game, averaging 9 points. Paul Millsap, the corpse he was last year in the playoffs, was god-awful, 26 minutes. JaMychal Green, 20 minutes. Dozier, 19. So 3, 6, 9 people are getting 9 minutes a game. That's your rotation. Okay. Then why the hell is Hartenstein getting 9? He can't shoot a 3. He can't dribble. I'm guessing he can't block NBA shots. Campazano, Hunter, is the 4th string point guard. If you have Jamal Murray, why do you even have a 4th string point guard? He's getting 9 minutes a game as 4th string.
You'd probably only go too deep.
So Bol Bol is out here getting the same number of minutes as Vlatko Cancer or Kankar. Who the fuck is it? Oh, Woosaw, Hunter. Woosaw. So what you were saying a minute ago.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that. Are they protecting his body? Are they trying to keep him from being hurt? But let's talk about this. How many 7-footers are good after 30 years old?
None.
It just does that. Shaq
goes
was
away.
big, so big. That's what he used.
Your body can only take so much of that beating at that size.
You can look at David Robinson, Tim, all of them. As soon as they get to 30, 31, 32, their body, they start going downhill.
It's different.
So there's no point not playing him now.
Mm-hmm.
His best years are right now. The 3 years ago to the next 5 are his best years, and right now you're wasting 2 or 3 of them by not playing him at all. And that's what's driving me crazy. And Hunter, if you don't want him, trade him.
Right.
If you're not going to play him, if you don't want him, somebody else will. You don't think the Charlotte Hornets could use him? For God's sakes. I mean, come on. So looking at his daddy, for an example, okay? Daddy was 7'7". He started in the NBA at age 23. Now, here's a fun stat for you, Hunter. Manute Bol played more 82-game seasons than LeBron James did. I'm going to repeat that for you folks.
At 7'7".
Manute Bol played more 82 full-game seasons in his career than LeBron James did. 2-1. Manute Bol. And Hunter, he didn't move up and down the court. He only averaged about 15 minutes a game, looking at his stats here. But you know what Manute Bol ended up doing? Oh, shit, I hit the button. That'll be easy to quit. Find there. No, there it is. All-time blocks. Manute Bol, where was he? Is 16th in blocks. Ahead of Kevin Garnett, Larry Nance, Paul Gasol, Jermaine O'Neal, Elvin Hayes, Artis Gilmore. Of course, he's behind the greats of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But how many more minutes did those guys
They played a lot more than just 15
play
minutes.
than Manute Bol? Dwight Howard, Ben Wallace, Marcus Camby, Alonzo Mourning, Robert Parrish, Tree Rollins, Shaq, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Mark Eaton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dikembe Mutombo, and God, Hunter, who's number 1 in blocks all time?
The King.
It's a guy that's not even 7 foot that people think, hey, he might not be. He might not be the best center. He's number 1 in blocks all time. I'm on all-time blocks per game. This is where Manute was. I saw this the other day, which is crazy. Let's do this one. Number 2, all-time.
Per game.
Manute Bol is number 2 all-time in blocks per game. What's good about Elijah Wan? He's number 3. So that's totally legit. That's just not playing games.
Right.
The most games. So Manute Bol, Hunter, put it this way. In 2,000 games, has the same block average as Akeem Olajuwon or better, and he played 3,800 games. Just think if he would have played the same career, how many blocks he would have had. So he would come in, Hunter, let's see, 26 minutes, 18, 14, 22, 17, 18. Like those minutes, if you give those to his son, he's getting more points than his dad did.
Right.
His dad averages 4 points.
And you're not sitting there in today's basketball game saying, well, what about his defense?
He's 7.
That's the same thing.
7'2".
It's the same thing that we just got finished arguing about and talking about that dumbasses say about Draymond Green. Well, his defense. Well, no, who cares about defense in today's game? And who can preach to that? It's because it's going across all sports. When the defensive-minded Nick Saban says you have to just be able to outscore the other team on offense. And he is a defensive-minded man. And it's the same exact thing in the NBA. All we'd sit here and talk about is James Harden scoring 37 a game, Kevin Durant averaging such and such points a game, Steph Curry, what was the headline today? 62 points a game. Wow. It looks like someone's playing great defense on these guys. And I know that they're great scorers, but at the same time, when, like you said, if you've got scores of 140 to 130, who was really playing defense?
Yeah.
Who was even trying?
His 2 blocks might be more advantage than whatever you were doing before that. Well, Hunter, Jokic, right? Mm-hmm. He's a walking triple-double offensively, right? But is he a great defender?
No.
Do you not think...
He gets blown past on defense.
Okay, off the top of your head...
AD ate him alive.
Off the top of your head, would Bol not be just as adequate, if not better, than Jokic defensively?
I think he'd be better.
I do, too.
I think Bol, because when you watch Jokic to me plays at a certain speed, and it's very slow.
He plays Tim Duncan fundamental basketball.
He plays very slow, whereas Bol, I see more athleticism, even in his 7'3" body frame. I see that. And obviously, he's younger. And I think he'll have more to prove with his size. He knows he can go up with the best of them and block shots. Whereas Jokic, when you watch Jokic, and I know he lost a lot of weight going into the bubble last year, but at the same time, he still plays heavy. Jokic
he don't leave the ground.
No, he doesn't leave the ground. So, Bol, if you want to talk about defense, we need defense. Then why would you not play him?
He's 7'2", 220 pounds. And he shoots threes. He can dribble. He can cross it over. To me, he's like a 3-point shooting Giannis, and he's sitting over on a bench. Like, it's just nuts to me. Like, even, I don't know, Hunter. Even, like, again, what is wrong? What are you going to lose playing this dude 15 minutes a game? And the age thing, like I said, let's look at his dad, okay? And this is the key one. Like, you can look at other 7-footers and compare, but damn, you can directly talk about his dad. His dad fell off minutes-wise at age 31. He played double-digit minutes all the way to the age 30 and then just fell completely off. And that's a 7-footer. And I think the Nuggets are going to waste this kid playing him. Okay, here's his college numbers. His 1 year in college, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see.
I think he got hurt in college, too.
He played 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 21 and 10. Let's put in whoever the fuck Alex Herenstein is.
All right.
Isaiah Hartenstein. If I said Isaiah Hartenstein's coming to play basketball tonight at center, would you think a big, tall German guy's coming into town?
I don't know why I'd be
a
thinking.
7-foot guy named Isaiah. It's a German.
I don't know. It's when you look at when you look at what Denver's doing with Bol, you can't help but kind of scratch your head.
I just want him traded.
And it's mostly because nobody in that organization has come out and said this is why he's playing those certain amount of minutes, or this is what our goal is for Bol. I think to them, Bol kind of just fell to their lap, and they fell right there to their spot that they picked him at. They were like, okay, I guess we can take him. We'll take him because it's just one of those
what's
things
their plan?
where
just to waste him. For
no,
4
I know
years?
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, if the front because think about it, if it is just a coaching decision, and the front office isn't really pushing for him to play, then what good is he doing there? If anything, you would think the organization would look at him and say, well, we're not going to play him anyways. And they might not believe in him, so it's just where we'll just pay him to sit here.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they're doing.
That's crazy.
We'll just pay him to sit here. Whereas And the problem is they don't play him enough for him to put tape out so someone can say, yes, we're going to make a trade for him.
We'll give you a second-round pick.
Absolutely.
First of all, he should get a first-round pick from anybody not in the lottery. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't.
At least the late round
he was
first
picked
pick.
in the second round, so you're basically giving him up for nothing if you trade him for that. So you got to at least get a first rounder. Like, why wouldn't the Lakers just be right now? We'll give you a first-round pick. What if they did that, Hunter? And would you not be pissed? Would fans not have enough?
Well, I don't Well, I'll
they just
say
got
this.
Bobo.
I don't understand why they don't, and it's mostly because, or at least anybody that has a head coach that has worked with a big man that size before. Remember, Frank Vogel was the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and for a long time, he was the head coach with the Indiana Pacers. He had a 7-footer on his team that used to give LeBron James a hell of a lot of trouble when he would drive the lane. Roy Hibbert.
Right. What Roy did, he didn't get out of the way.
Exactly. And Roy, the only thing that is
shots.
different between Roy Hibbert and Bobo is I think Bobo, obviously, as the game has progressed, is a better outside scorer.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
But Roy Hibbert was just thick. I mean, he was a full-built 7-footer. All right, and the dude was just big. Bobo still has got, obviously, the Kevin Durant build. He's very skinny. But if you're looking at that from a Frank Vogel standpoint, and to me, Frank Vogel, when he was with Indiana Pacers, they were never known about scoring a lot of points. They played pretty hard defense with the years they had Danny Granger and then Paul George evolved into what he was. They played very hard-nosed defense.
See Devin Booker call Paul George. What
do you say?
I think he called him soft, is what he said on the court. He called him the N-word, too, but that, of course, that's just...
Yeah.
He called him soft. I think he's a soft ass, is what he called him.
Probably. But if you're Frank Vogel and you know, you've always been about defense, what's more defensive than a 7'3" shot blocker? To go beside Anthony Davis that you already have.
Think about him, Hunter. He's almost like a 7'2" Draymond Green. You come in the lane, he blocks it, and then he dribbles up by himself. Then if you don't step up, though, he shoots the three.
Right.
If you do step up, he goes by and dunks it. I don't get it. I don't know who is kicking his ass so bad in practice that is Paul Millsap just waxing him in practice that we got played Millsap 30 minutes a game and this guy 4. I have to see it. I have to see a practice. I don't get it. I'm done with it. All right, Hunter. NFL predictions going wrong.
Yes.
These are our predictions. I've got mine. Then I've got us as a group. Who did the group thing? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Was this Saturday morning or is this a
What was that?
This was our group guess, and when I let everybody but me pick. And I can't remember if this was Saturday or if this was with Zach.
No, I don't know. I cannot remember.
You were involved in one way or another. So
I'm
going to blame you on that.
I was involved, yes.
All right, so the way I'm going to word this is mine and group. How about that?
Okay.
So NFC East, AFC East, we'll start there. As a group, we had Bills 11 wins, Patriots 9. Let me pull up the NFL standings so people can see them. There you go. As a group, we had Bills 11 wins, and they had 13. I had the Bills with 8. My explanation for this was I honestly didn't just trust the Bills enough. It ain't got nothing to do with Josh Allen. Their defense was getting worse, and it's gotten worse. Their defense scared me, but they end up 8-8. I said if they win 9 and get in, it's not going to surprise me. They got 13. I had the Patriots at 12 wins. I thought an average Cam Newton with a good Patriots defense and Coach Belichick would get them to 10 wins. And then looking at their division, I said 12 with that, Hunter. But we didn't get an average Cam Newton. We got a bad Cam Newton.
And we didn't get a good Patriots defense.
So I didn't get neither one of those. So they got, 7 wins?
And you got a pissed-off Bill Belichick. Smashing phone.
Now, I was way closer in the NFC North to these standings. How about this? Pittsburgh, I had 13. They got 12. Baltimore, I had 10. They got 11. As a group, we had Steelers and Ravens both with 14 wins. And they went 12-4 and 11-5.
Double digit.
I had the Browns at 9 wins. As a group, we had them at 8. Browns get to 11 wins, so better than even what I thought. And the Bengals, I had at 4 wins, Hunter, and they got 4 wins. So I was pretty in the ballpark on that one. Now, AFC South, Tennessee and Indianapolis both went 11-5. I had the Titans with 10 wins, Indianapolis with 9. So I was right there on it. As a group, we had Titans with 11, and they got 11. And we had Colts. You guys weren't as high as I was. Y'all had Colts at 7 wins. And then, here we go. Jacksonville Jaguars, you ready? I had 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1. Y'all had 0.
We were all
Y'all
over
didn't even
them.
give them 1 win.
We were all over them, man. Hey, but when was their win? First game of the year.
They were undefeated at one point.
At one point.
At
then
one
look
point,
at
the
'em.
Jaguars run.
But think about it. If they lose that opening game, they go. They play a big fat goose egg.
Crap, Hunter. I didn't record this one, but it's fine. I can just download it off YouTube.
Yeah.
So out in the West, let's look at how we did out here. Out in the West, I had Chiefs at 13. You guys had them at 14. They won 14. Next up, I had Broncos with 8 wins. I missed that one by 3. Not good. I'll say I get them right if I get them within 2. Broncos, you guys had them at 5 wins. They got 5 wins.
There we go.
You guys were way better on the Broncos than I was. Chargers, I had them at 6 wins. They got 7. So I was on that one. You guys were nowhere close. I had them at 3 wins. Almost for the
I thought they were
Chargers.
going to have. Well, I didn't think Justin Herbert was going to become what he is.
He's good.
He broke the rookie passing touchdown record this year. They have 31.
Hunter, it's almost. I hate to be like this, but like when they're drafting quarterbacks, I personally don't think being 6 foot hurts you as long as you're accurate. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get somebody who's 6'6" with a cannon arm, that guy usually busts out way less than the other guys.
That's why I would have taken.
And
I know Baker's good.
The odds are better with Herbert being that big than Baker.
Right.
But I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is that the guys are 6 foot tall can play. Drew Brees is maybe the best passer of all time.
You're
and he's 6
talking
foot tall.
about exactly why I said that year, and I know Baker's good, but why I said I would have taken Josh Allen over
He's
Baker
big.
Mayfield. He not only is he 6'5" and has probably the strongest arm in the NFL. He's also mobile and can move. And it's one of those things where usually if you're an NFL coach, you're very good at what you do. So if inaccuracy is the problem, I would like to believe that a coach can at least help you fix that out a little bit. It's crazy to think that 2 years ago, Josh Allen had the worst completion percentage in the league, and this year he's like second or third best. He's almost in the 70s. I mean, it's crazy to think that, but
God forbid you listen to your coach.
God forbid you listen to your coaches. That's how I looked at it. No matter what you had against Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or somebody that's that size, I always say it, and I've said it a lot on this show. It's you can't teach speed and size. And you can work on strength. That's just something in the weight room and whatnot. But you can't teach speed and especially size. You either have it or you don't. You can work on accuracy. You can work on footwork. You can work on those things that you have coaches to teach you to.
So he was 4th in the league in completion percentage this year. So how do you look at that? And then, so the year Cam made the Super Bowl, Hunter, he had 35 touchdowns, 10 picks. Josh Allen this year has 37 touchdowns. 10 picks.
I'm telling you.
He has a better passing season this year than Cam did in his MVP season. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to say this so I can cut it at a later point because I've been saying it for a few weeks now, and this year that what he reminds me of. He reminds me of a young John Elway. Don't yell at me. Don't cuss me. Dude can run. He's big. Cannon arm. May or may not win a Super Bowl until he gets a good running game and a great defense. We'll see. But again, he reminds me of John Elway. And I have never, Hunter, I don't think I've ever in my life compared anyone to John Elway. That dude, right, he just does.
Colin Cowherd compares Trevor Lawrence to John Elway every other week.
I don't think they don't look nothing alike.
Nah, he just says nobody drools over these quarterbacks coming out like they did John Elway, Andrew Luck, and Trevor Lawrence.
People loved Elway. The Andrew Luck thing. The Lawrence, man, I don't know if I pick him over a guy that beat him by 21 points. I mean, I don't know. How do you do that?
I don't know.
How do you look at that game and say, I'm going to pick the guy that lost by 21?
Going back to this in the Chargers, I did again. That was me thinking Tyrod Taylor was going to be the quarterback. I had no idea.
That's true, too.
That's what.
Yeah.
And even if Justin Herbert was going to be the starter, I had no idea he was going to be that.
Please tell me my mouse just went dead
For that,
while I'm sitting here doing this.
oh, it might have.
Give me your mouse. Pop that thing out. Did you
I
have a
don't-
mouse?
I don't even have a mouse.
Maybe I got to send it to Tom. Damn it.
No, I never had a mouse. I was just over here working with the little touchpad. But to me, I think the Chargers have a bright future with Justin Herbert as long as they get him the right coach. But we will see, because the problem with it though is that division has got Patrick Mahomes, John Gruden, and Derek Carr still with the Raiders, and then whatever the hell Denver wants to do with their quarterback situation. Something's trying to work. I'm looking at it. Something is trying to work. I don't know. You might
There it is.
You might have to just try.
I'm
And,
not holding my mouth right. Maybe it's the computer is actually messing up.
it might
here.
be going
Has
slow.
to be. All right, so let's look at the more standings. Finish these up. We had the I done did the Broncos. The page Microsoft. Jeez, yeah, it's definitely the computer, Hunter. Oh goodness. So we had Raiders at 7 wins. How many did they end up with? 8 or 7?
I think they
still on
ended up
7?
with 7.
They ended up sitting on 7. Wow, it's not good, Raiders. I can pull it up.
They ended the season at 8-8.
Okay.
They did. They
So I
finished.
missed that
They
by
finished
one.
the season. They won literally by 1 point in their final game.
Well, John Jacobs was just arrested for a DUI.
Well, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
But wow,
So there you go.
that's
Chargers,
a great way to end the season.
Chargers fire Lynn. And so who are you looking at that, Hunter?
To take that
A lot
job.
of people's talking Urban Meyer might be taking one of these jobs. Is he
Oh
going
yeah,
to Jacksonville?
there's a lot of heat around that. A lot of heat around him going to Jacksonville.
What Dabo? You going to Jacksonville?
No.
I don't think if you're the king of a town like that in a city, like why would you? Like the same thing with Saban going. Why would he go to Miami if you're the king of your town? Like Coach K's had all kinds of opportunities to be the Lakers. But if he goes to the Lakers and loses, he's going to lose more in his first season with the Lakers
Than he has in
in
college
the last
basketball.
10 years combined. And so how do you do that if you're a coach? Like Saban, these college coaches, they don't really want to get. They can sit there and say, "Well, I want to challenge," but they really don't want to go up there and
With
lose.
Anthony Lynn out at the Chargers, the question becomes who you're going to put in that position, because whoever gets it really is kind of getting the keys to a dang Ferrari.
A good
And
spot.
it's a good spot. It's a very good spot. So I've already read reports. Obviously, Detroit had fired Matt Patricia weeks ago, but they're interviewing multiple people this week. I can only imagine when the Chargers and everybody else will start bringing in their interviewees. So it's going to be interesting to watch for the next few weeks
Jason
on who
Garrett.
possibly gets signings.
The Chargers.
No, Jason Garrett is not even being interviewed by the Lions, and they're dysfunctional. So
Like who says yes to the Lions? Somebody who's never had a job. It has to be. Like nobody's going to go there that's had a job before.
well, here's the thing: you got to look at it this way. Is Matt Stafford still committed?
Yeah.
Because Matt Stafford, no matter how bad the Lions organization is, he seems to play well year in and year out. He's breaking records left and right. He was the fastest to get to a certain amount of yards this past weekend. So Matt Stafford is just not the problem.
Oh,
The
obviously.
problem is everybody else around him. So whoever
Hunter.
you bring in the defense is what's the worst part about Detroit.
One team in the NFL this year gave up 500 points. It was the Detroit
Lions. And what's so crazy is Matt Patricia was supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. So
Let's see how many teams they scored more than that got in the playoffs. Okay, they scored 377. That's more than the Rams, more than the Bears, definitely more than the Redskins.
yeah,
None of them, and none of them. So 3 NFC teams. Stafford actually outscored this year, but his defense gave up 519. That's
it's tough.
terrible.
It's tough.
That's terrible.
So I don't know. They're bringing in Robert Saleh this week to be interviews, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. They've had some great defenses the past few years, so I don't think that would be a bad hire. But they're also interviewing today Eric Bieniemy, who is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have a bad offense either. So it just depends on which philosophy you're wanting to go with going forward.
Well, the good news about that Detroit thing is that bumped Dallas out of the worst defense in the NFL. They improved the last 4 weeks, Hunter. They were dead last for the whole season.
And now they're fourth to last.
Like that's
Fifth to last.
That's actually a big improvement. If you jump up that many spots in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Who did they play?
They were at 30. Yeah, they've played shit. They were giving up 31.6 about 3 weeks ago. And then they've played a bunch of bad teams. So, ladies and gentlemen, the worst defense in the NFL this year was the Detroit Lions, and Jacksonville second. Raiders third, Vikings fourth, and Cowboys fifth worst defense in the NFL.
So how else did we do on our pick'ems?
Okay, we're going to get to the NFC now.
Okay, so that was everybody in the AFC, and I like to think we actually did pretty decent there.
NFC East, we had the Cowboys. Y'all had the Cowboys to win it with 9 wins.
Nobody in the division got the 9.
I had the Eagles with 10. Thank you, Carson Wentz, for not showing up.
Thank you, nobody in the NFC East for showing up. The only one that was close was Washington.
So Aaron Rodgers threw more touchdowns this year than the team punted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that Wentz threw more picks than he did touchdowns about.
I think he did too.
I had the Cowboys at 8 wins. You guys had them at 9. You guys had the Eagles at 8. So none of us picked the Redskins to win this. However, we were close on the record. I had them at 6 wins. I didn't have them winning the division.
No.
7 wins. 7 wins it. Giants 6 wins. I had them at 4. You guys had Giants at 3, Washington at 4 wins on the year. In the North, I had Packers 10 wins, Vikings 8, Bears 7, Lions 6. It went 13, got 8 right, but that was Vikings, not Bears. I got 7 right, but that was Bears, not Vikings.
Just flip-flop.
And then the Lions, I had 6, they had 5. So I pretty much nailed that division for the most part. In the South, I had Saints 11 wins, got 12. I had Tampa 10 wins, got 11. So I nailed those 2. Falcons, I missed this one bad. I had them in the playoffs with 9 wins. They go 4-12. Thanks for sucking ass. They did, however, outscore 4 teams in the playoffs with 396. Panthers, I nailed them, Hunter. Exactly 5 wins. You guys had the Panthers at 4 wins, but you guys also had the Falcons at 8. So y'all are kind of in the same ballpark with me on that division. Looking out west, is that the last one we had?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Looking out west, we had the Seahawks. Y'all had the Seahawks at 14 wins. I had them at 11. They got 12. Then I had the Rams in second. They did at 9 wins. They got 10. You guys had the Rams with 7 wins and third in that division. You guys had the 49ers with 10. And in the playoffs, I had the 49ers out of the playoffs with 8. And then the Cardinals, I had at 6 wins. You guys had at 7. They got to 8. So there were our predictions. Before the season started.
It's crazy to think. Tom thought he was going to be great picking the Arizona Cardinals to make the playoffs, and they go in last game of the season, and they blew it.
So what we do, folks, is one of our predictions, the way we do them is we just don't go off the top of our head what we think. We actually have to – I make the guys take 2 teams out of the playoffs and then put the new teams in, so they have to get rid of playoff teams for next year. Last year, I got rid of the 49ers. Check. The Vikings? Check. Texans? Check. I missed the Bills. But I only missed the Bills by 1 game, damn it. Who got in that didn't? The playoff teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's, Patriots.
Yes.
I got 6 of the 7 picks for playoffs. All of them right, except Bills and Patriots I had flipped. So that's where I missed that one. Should have been Pats. The new ends. I had Bucks. They're in. Had the Rams. They're in. Steelers. They're in. Browns. They're in. Colts. They're in. Missed the Falcons. So, Hunter, I only missed 1 in and 1 out on the season. And then 90% of my teams were by 2 wins. Ones I missed bad, missed the Bills by a lot. Eagles, Falcons were my 3 big misses, I would say. The rest of them, I would say I was, let me back that up, Dolphins. I had 4 wins for the Dolphins.
They
totally
got the
missed that
10.
one. They got a 10. You guys had them at 5.
Nah,
So y'all felt better than I did.
won the game better.
It's still better than what I had as they come through. My prediction for the season was Steelers over Seahawks on this sheet. We'll see how that goes. Not feeling too good about it right now, Hunter. Steelers can't run the ball worth shit, and neither can the Seahawks, really. So those are problems I have. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you how the Browns are gonna lose, because I thought they was gonna lose this week because of it, and they really lost last week because of it. It's because their kicker sucks ass.
Cody Parkey. Double doink machine out of Chicago.
Not only is he not good, he sucks. It's
He's
not like
bad.
it's not like he's average. He'll get us through.
Do you want to know?
I mean, they're thinking Hunter at the 35-yard line. Do we kick this or go for it every time?
Do you want to know what will guarantee a possible win for the Browns?
What's that?
Don't use them.
Probably.
Don't use them.
They didn't yesterday, Hunter, and about cost. I about text Tom like, you do know our kicker's sucking ass is about because I texted him 3 weeks ago, and I was during one of the games and said, write it down, bub. We're going to lose in the playoffs because of this kicker. And we about got knocked out of the playoffs yesterday because they didn't even want to kick with him
That's what
yesterday.
cost Chicago in a playoff game 2 years ago.
It will.
It was the double doink. That
Yep.
was the double doink game. Cody Parkey double doinked it off of the uprights, and that cost him the game.
The Browns are going to lose because of a kicker. We'll probably dominate the game and lose because we keep getting to the 30 or 25 and can't kick
It's going to be
damn
tough.
field goal.
It's going to be tough because now Pittsburgh will be full force next week. That will be tough. To me, I think a game that nobody should overlook, and I'll just say it, I think Indianapolis is going to make it a closer game than people think with the Bills, because Indianapolis does two things great. They play defense. They got a great defense in Indianapolis, and they run the football. And that has been a recipe that always beats high-powered offenses. You got a great defense, and you run the ball, which keeps the high-powered offense off the field. I think Indianapolis is going to make this a really tough game. I would still pick the Bills to win the game, but I think Indianapolis is going to make it close, if not upset the Bills. And I hope that they don't, because I feel like the Bills have got a damn good team, and I feel like they could make a really good run at the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they'd win it, but they could at least make it. But I think that'll be an interesting game. If you look some of the other matchups as well, I think what hurts the NFC so bad is the fact that it does go through Green Bay at the end. You're talking about playing in January in Green Bay. And that's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Shitty.
Well, the Cowboys didn't have a problem with it until the ref told Dez he didn't catch that damn ball.
Yes,
So,
but
horse shit on that when Dez called it.
that's beside the point. Now, you've got MVP, elite Aaron Rodgers right
Yep.
now. In the second year of I've started noticing this because Colin will talk about it, and someone else brings it up to Colin whenever they talk about with some of the ex-players and guys that have worked in the business. It's usually the second year of being a part of a Shanahan offense. The second year that Matt Ryan was a part of Kyle Shanahan's offense, what did they do? They went to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kyle Shanahan was in his second year with the 49ers, what happened? They made a Super Bowl. Mike Shanahan, when did it really pop with John Elway and the Denvers? It was the second year that they took over, and they really got to implement what they wanted to do play style-wise. This is now the second year of a Shanahan offense, because this is what same with Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
Sean McVay was in his second year with the Rams. He studied under Mike Shanahan and Kyle, made a Super Bowl. Matt LaFleur is a Shanahan product. This is his second year, and guess what? Green Bay's humming. It will not surprise me if Green Bay makes the Super Bowl now. You would have asked me at the beginning of the season, I said, no way. They didn't fill any needs. They drafted a damn backup quarterback in the first round. They're stupid. No, they look really good right now. And the problem is what I mean by it, now the NFC has to go through Green Bay. The two best teams that could try and knock them off are both either an indoor or the southern team in Tampa Bay and the Saints. Well, now you're getting ready to ask them to possibly go and play in the damn frozen tundra in a snow game to try and get into a Super Bowl. It's just going to be tough. A lot of stuff seems to be lining up for Green Bay. So that's why I feel like the NFC almost might be set for this. This is Green Bay's to lose, to not get there. AFC-wise, I think it's really almost wide open between the Bills, the Chiefs. I don't know about Pittsburgh. I was thinking maybe earlier in the season, but damn, they're really showing right now what their flaws are. And then who's really come alive late is Baltimore. So I don't know. I feel like the AFC is a little bit more wide open than the NFC is if I'm looking at it that way.
All right, let me give you some info/stats you need to know. The 5 worst defenses in the playoffs. Tennessee at 24.
Bad. Can't get to the quarterback.
Cleveland at 21. Buffalo at 16. The thing about Cleveland's, I think that would be closer to 16, 15 range.
I think it's just that there's injury.
They've had so many injuries in Corona this year. It's ridiculous. Buffalo's at 16. Seattle's at 15. Chicago's at 14. 49 of the top last 54 of the 54 Super Bowls have been won by top 12 defense. The other 5 were won by outstanding offenses, like Peyton Manning twice, Drew Brees once. Now, let's talk about these quarterbacks. We've got Manning, Hunter. How many years have people, in the last 10 years, has there been a small number of people or a big number of people either picked the Packers or Saints to make the Super Bowl?
It's because they trust Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Neither one of them have been to a Super Bowl in a decade.
Yep. They literally were back-to-back years,
Yep.
2009, 2010.
Yep. It's been a decade, folks, since either one of them played in a Super Bowl, and only one of them they've only won one apiece. So yeah, they're the 1 and 2 seeds, but if you've bet on them every year for the last 10 years, you've missed.
You've missed. You're right.
So when you look at that, then you're like, well, who else can win in the NFC? Do I want to pick? So let's look at the other teams. So do I say I want to pick, like you're talking about the Packers there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's 1 and 2. How about Seattle? You know what?
They've done it before.
They've won it before.
They've made it back-to-back years.
Their biggest problem, their defense is 15th. So that's an issue.
That's been a question mark for them since early in the season when they started undefeated really well, and then the defense started to crap on them.
Is there anyone that thinks Washington can pull this off?
What, for a Super Bowl?
Right.
No.
Okay.
If you're talking about maybe upsetting Tampa Bay in the first round, now I'll raise my hand to that.
I will say this.
Because we're going to get Tom Brady off his mark.
I will not be surprised of 2 things. If y'all beat them, I wouldn't be surprised. But if they beat you by 40,
that doesn't surprise me either. I knew what you were going to say when you said if you beat them, but because I was literally about to look at you and say, if they wax our ass, I understand. I get it.
It just depends on if Tom's on or not.
I get it.
Your defense is good.
But what's always been the key to try and throw Tom off is get him off his spot, and we got the best front 4 to do it.
Are y'all going to beat them 24-20 though?
Oh, the problem is
it's not like you're beating them 35-30.
We have to keep a high-scoring offense low, and can we do it? I don't know.
So Brady, of course, has won 6 Super Bowls. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. The Rams defense, Hunter.
That's like first or second in the league.
They're number 1 now.
Ever since Miami just gave up 56.
Their number 1 right now is the Rams defense, 18.5 on the year. Ravens 2. Here's your say playoffs when I say the name, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Rams.
Playoffs.
Ravens.
Playoffs.
Steelers.
Playoffs.
Washington.
Playoffs.
Saints.
Playoffs.
Now, last time Drew Brees had a top 5 defense, he won the Super Bowl. So, that was 11 years ago, but here we are. How about 6 and 7? No playoffs. No playoffs.
Nope.
8, yes.
Playoffs.
9, no.
Nope.
10, yes.
Playoffs.
11, yes.
Nope.
12, no. Packers are at 13, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your measurements.
And if you technically just take, and what you could do is, of course, you're going to look at the top 12 defenses in the league. But if you take out the teams that don't make it, it also kind of just tells you who's got the better defense going forward.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I'm glad that you did bring up the fact that the Rams have now taken over the first spot defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, they're going to have questions because Jared Goff didn't play this last game because he had something wrong with. I think they think he might have something wrong with his thumb.
Yeah, is he going to play?
And see, that's the big question mark. Is he going to play? I don't know.
Picking that other dude to win the championship.
No, definitely not picking the other guy to win the championship. And then one other thing that I wanted to point out, though. So Miami held a very high spot up there for a minute with their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you said most of the time it's a top 12 defense unless it's a prolific offense that comes out of nowhere and gets it.
Right.
Well, I just saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills hitting 56 on a top 5 defense at the time in the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not surprise me if this becomes one of those outlier years where at least a prolific offense gets to and can possibly win the Super Bowl championship, because we're looking at the 2 teams right there that could possibly make it.
Read the top 9.
Top 9. Green Bay,
They're all in the playoffs.
Buffalo, Tampa, Tennessee, New Orleans, Kansas City, Baltimore, Seattle, Indianapolis.
Now, Hunter, which one of those teams are top 5 in offense and defense? Let's say the
New
top
Orleans.
9. There's 2 of them.
New Orleans and Kansas City.
Baltimore.
No, I thought it was Kansas City. Kansas City's close, though. They're like 10th, I think, in defense.
They are. Oh, that's offense. Kansas City defense. Let's go back to them. Yeah, they're in the top 10 because we mentioned. No, they're
Where are they?
11th.
Well, they're right there on the
They're
edge.
11th.
They're right on the edge.
But top 5, Saints, Washington Steelers, Rams, and Ravens. Let's see. I think the Saints are the only one, dude. Yep. Saints. The Ravens are almost there. They're 7th in offense. So the Saints are top. I mean, just close your eyes. Don't do anything. Hunter, your team has top 5 defense and offense and the most accurate passer in NFL history. Now, the bad news is he's 3-6 on the outdoors in the playoffs.
Bad news is I've seen this before, too, the past 2 years. They just get shitted somehow, some way in the playoffs.
I want to show you how much I nailed these playoffs, my picks this year. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I just noticed this while you're in the bathroom. I was reading notes and stuff. I even nailed the seeds. Listen to the AFC. 1, Chiefs.
Of course.
2, I got Steelers. Damn, I missed it.
Yeah. They're 3.
I got 3 Patriots, so that's
That
where
would have been Buffalo.
That's Buffalo. All right, so besides those, that's my mess up, right? I got 4 Titans, 5 Ravens, 6 Browns, 7 Colts.
Look at that.
I nailed 5 of the 7 seeds. Not they'll make the playoffs.
Right.
The exact seed they'll get. Now let me look at the NFC. I haven't looked at the NFC, so this will be 100% surprising to me. Seahawks 1, no.
Nope.
Saints 2.
Yes.
Got that. I had Packers 3. So those 2 flipped. At 4, I had the Eagles, so I missed that one. 5 Bucks.
Yep.
6 Rams.
Yep.
7 Falcons.
Nope. Chicago.
So I got, 9
Yeah.
of the 14 seeds nailed? The seeds nailed. That's good, Hunter. You got to give me credit for
That
that
is
one.
good.
Nailing the seed. Not they'll get in the playoffs. I nailed the seed. 9 out of 14. That's what I'm talking. Let me make sure. I'm going to circle those. I got to brag about that to Terry. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, of course, 1. And then in the NFC, I got 2, 5, and 6, and then flip-flopped 1 and 3. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 14 exact seeds. I'll take it. All right, couple other news and notes here. Seemed like I had on the NFL. All right, Hunter, your team, we're at a couple of crossroads here for some of our local teams. They're talking about coaching, quarterback changes.
Yep.
We talked the Eagles throwing that game.
I think they did.
You're down 3. You're on the 4-yard line, and you don't kick field goals.
I know I've quoted him twice already on this show, but I like listening to Colin because I think he makes some good points. But Colin said, this is what I like to bring up about it, is because he pointed out something that I wouldn't have recognized. In the post-game press conference, Doug Peterson said he was playing for the win, but wanted to get the third-string quarterback reps. And he said, and Colin basically said, so you lied. You weren't playing for the win if you're going to let your third-string quarterback take reps.
In the same sentence.
And when he said that, I said, wow. Because I didn't get to hear the post-game press conference, obviously. I was like, wow, he actually made a great point. He just, contradicted himself totally. He just basically flat out lied. He said, look, I'm playing for the win. But I felt like the third-string quarterback had deserved reps. He had been here with us for a long time.
Listen, just tell us the truth. Who called it? Who said let's put the guy in? Was it from up top?
Probably.
Which it had to have been.
Had to have been.
Right.
Because think about it. When they lost that game, they went from 9 to 6.
Right.
They're picking 6 now. And Carson Wentz has already come out and said he does not want to be there.
Right.
He wants a
Did
trade.
you see after the game?
Oh, yeah.
Him and Kelsey
and
Ertz.
Ertz. And Zach Ertz was fighting to get a contract extension from them this year, and it didn't happen. So he might be gone as well.
Just think about how wild Philadelphia is to the fact they went from winning the Super Bowl and, and Hunter, when they did it, if y'all remember, I said, I don't even know if you was here. I said it out loud. I've said it plenty on the show. You don't cut the Super Bowl MVP. You just don't. Like,
I don't think.
How do you get rid of the Super Bowl MVP?
I don't think.
And it's went downhill since.
But even then, the next year when he did play, he didn't look that great. I know he got him into the playoffs, but even that playoff game, he didn't look great.
I'm just calling bad juju. I'm just calling bad juju.
Well, okay, fine.
Now
you can call bad juju.
That's what I'm doing.
That's fine. You can go ahead and call bad juju. But what I think you don't do is erect a statue of Nick Foles out in front of the stadium while Carson Wentz is still the starting quarterback. I don't think you do that. With Doug Peterson basically hugged up on Nick Foles in the statue. He's not even there anymore.
How many Super Bowl champion quarterbacks weren't on the team the next year that didn't retire?
Oh, no, you don't know any. Because Peyton would be the only one that you could say, but he retired.
John Elway retired, too.
Mm-hmm. They went out with the sunset.
There's only been 2. Everybody else hobbles out of here.
I know. They just hobble out of here. It's ridiculous. But I still think that's something that... I'm going to tell you what. If I was a starting quarterback and I saw that my backup had a statue out front when I was the reason why that we got the at least 1 seed, I would probably have a problem with it, too. I'm just being straight up. I would have a problem with him having a statue, him not being here, and I'm the starting quarterback.
Well, maybe you should have won.
I tore my ACL. I tore my ACL.
I'm just saying, Hunter, ever since that they cut him, it's bad juju. Like the Rams.
Well, you know what
the Rams
else?
changed their uniform. You win the Super Bowl.
You know what else?
And you change the uniform.
Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl and then released a book a year later about him winning the Super Bowl. I don't know if that really helps either. He only won 1.
That's what the Eagles do. All right, so let's finish up then in 2 places, Washington and Carolina.
Okay.
That's
fine.
Let's start Washington.
Yes.
You're in the playoffs. You got Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to be your quarterback next year? If you're the GM, Hunter, what move are you making?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to watch what happens with Philadelphia and Carson Wentz, and I'm going to watch what happens in Dallas and Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't want to go through getting a rookie, like I don't think Bill Belichick will be looking to do either. Right. You don't want to get a rookie, but you want to get a guy that can come in and produce. You're looking at those 2 guys because they're both young. They still have a lot of football left in them, so it's not going to be like they're only here for 2 years, then they're gone. Mm-hmm. You can almost rebuild around them. And the thing is you've got everything else in place around them. You've got good wide receivers, a good offensive line, and a dominant defense. That's what any veteran quarterback would love to come to that situation. Now, if you see a guy coming out next year in the draft and you're fine with having Alex Smith for another year being another stopgap, I'm fine with it. The problem I have with it is the fact that I've got a quarterback on 1.5 legs right now. That's what it is. And you can see it when he throws the ball. And so I like Alex, and if he and here's the case as well. If you keep Alex, I would keep him as a mentor role because I think you're drafting one this year. But if you ask me, Washington, who do I want going forward? I'm keeping my eyes on the Dallas and Eagles quarterback
situation. What's Alex Smith's record this year?
He's got a winning record.
5-1?
I think so, yeah. He's got a winning record. He does. The problem is they talked about it last night. He has to tape up and have extra tape put on that 1 foot because he can't put a lot of pressure on it because his leg's still just so weak. Doesn't have all the muscle and stuff there. And so that's why I'm like, so I don't have a 100% Alex Smith, and I don't think I ever will.
No, you won't. I think Rivera's comfortable with Alex Smith. In the fact Rivera's a coach that as long as you don't turn it over, I think I can win with defense. He coaches Belichick style. It's what he does. For you guys, I see 2 options. The best for you guys is bring in a actual starter, whether it's Matt Stafford or whoever. That's
what I was saying. Even seeing what they do with Matt Stafford, I'm fine with that.
And make Alex the backup.
Yes.
Like, look, you're very good at what you do. If our starter gets hurt,
we are comfortable
we
with you
can make the
coming in.
playoffs and go with you in. We just don't want to have you on the field 16 games.
It's dangerous for you too.
Right. We don't want him on the field for 16 games and being the starter, and then because you guys have a playoff team. See that what makes the difference is the Eagles were 11-5. You guys are like, well, let's just scrap everything.
Right.
But if you're a playoff team, the thing with Miami, like I think they're going to be in a wild situation this offseason when you have a top 10 defense already, and you're sitting there with Tua, who you've already shown that you're not too comfortable with.
He threw 3 picks against not even a top 10 defense.
Coming back to win games. So Miami, Hunter, you're in the fourth
They're
draft
3
spot.
spot.
Are they 3?
They're 3. It's officially the 3rd spot. With the Texans' loss, it's the 3rd spot.
Oh my goodness.
They literally have a top 3 pick.
So again, if you're Miami, let's throw out your record for right now, and you're Miami picking 3rd.
Yeah.
And this is the decision everybody says they have to make. Same with the Jets. The Jets picking 2nd. You have to make a decision on whether you think Justin Fields or Zach Wilson is as good or better than who you have in your locker room. So you're basically saying, is Justin Fields better than Tua?
Right.
Is Zach Wilson better than Sam Darnold? So that's where they're at. Now, Miami's sitting at 3. Here's the thing. 4 don't need a quarterback. 5 don't need a quarterback. 6 probably don't. 7
6
don't.
might. Let's think about it. If he was okay with sitting Jalen Hurts in this game, I mean,
When he lost it on purpose. I don't think he
but to get a 6, the top,
I don't think
almost
he
a
set
6th or
Hurts.
5th pick.
Okay,
come on.
again, you're picking 6th. Is the 3rd quarterback in this draft better than Jalen Hurts?
I don't.
And
Jalen Hurts
Carson
was a
Wentz.
2nd
And
round pick.
Remember that. And Jalen Hurts.
Well, it doesn't really matter because Carson Wentz is telling him, "I want the hell out."
Well, again,
then-
but they don't have to trade him.
I know they don't.
So, but what I'm saying is that they've got $40 million because they got 35 into Carson, right?
Oh, they got a lot.
So they got
yeah.
$40 million into the quarterback position right now. So for them to make a move, it has to be Carson Wentz has to leave.
Yes.
Like he's in Philly in Washington or Denver. I think he ends up in Denver.
Oh, another thing just came across the ticker. John Elway is taking a higher role in Denver, so he's no longer going to be the general manager. They will be looking for a general
Wouldn't you rather
manager.
get paid to do nothing than get blamed for
Yeah,
the
why
team
not?
sucking?
Why not?
You can give me a different job, paid the same, but I have no responsibilities.
Yeah, cool.
Shit, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So Miami's sitting at 300. You got Tua, you got Fitzpatrick, you got a top 10 defense. So here's something that they could do because, folks, they have the 18th pick as well. Hunter, you got 2 choices. You can move back from 3 to any one of those teams. Carolina at 8, Denver at 9, San Francisco if they move off Garoppolo, Minnesota. How about New England moving up to the 3 spot to get into that 3 spot? And then say you're Miami. If you move back, Hunter, you can draft at 18th, 2 top 10 picks to improve your defensive line, whatever you feel like. Get you a star wide receiver maybe. And then you got 2 picks, plus they're probably going to give you more than that. Then you end up with 2. They've got 2 second round picks this year too.
Oh, Miami's loaded.
They got 2 first and 2 seconds. So then you get more.
Miami, Jacksonville, and the Jets. Literally, people picking 1, 2, and 3 are loaded
Have the
on
most
picks.
picks.
They have the most picks.
So honestly, Miami, if you like your quarterback, the best move is to trade back.
Yeah.
Now, but what if you really, really want Trevor Lawrence? Does Jacksonville take 3 and 18?
No, I don't do it. I don't think they do. Because
Hey, 3, 18, and Tua.
I still don't think they take it.
Come on, Hunter.
No, I still don't think they take it because
You get top 10 quarterback.
you're talking
from
about
last year
You're talking about a
and 2
possible
first-round picks.
You're talking about a possible franchise-changing quarterback,
Right.
and we all know
It's Tua not.
if Miami doesn't think so and they're willing to move off of it, why would Jacksonville buy it?
That's a great question. I thought about that in my analysis, thinking about why would Jacksonville buy it. My thing was, think about this: if you're Jacksonville, okay, let's say you give us Tua, okay,
What some people don't realize too is Jacksonville's got $100 million open on the cap. So if they wanted to try and sign just a veteran,
they could
that's already
sign.
played.
What if they want to sign Stafford? But anyway,
That's beside the point.
if you're Miami, you go to Jacksonville, and so this is why Jacksonville would do it, Hunter. If I trade that 1 pick and flip back to 3, okay, I'm essentially taking 2 at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then Why wouldn't you just take Fields at 3? Get this. If you're Miami, you've not really wasted anything by doing this. So you you do that, then Jacksonville moves back to 3.
But this is why Jacksonville probably wouldn't do it. They're using that number 1 pick and the amount of money that they have on the cap as a real leverage deal on why high possible head coaching, people that are interviewing for that would want to come to Jacksonville. Because they're like, look, you can get Trevor Lawrence at 1, and we've got $100 million that we can build this team up. But we need the coaching staff in place.
Or I call Ryan Day and say, we're trading the 1 for Tua and the 3 and the 18. And then, Hunter, your picks will be Tua 1, Fields 3.
And whoever.
And then whatever you want at 18 to fill out your to a wide receiver or a tackle.
Urban Meyer
then you got
might
2
be
top
coming
10
to
picks.
Jacksonville.
Well, that's another thing, too.
Urban Meyer was there when Justin Fields first came in, when he transferred. He was.
Do you think he'd like Fields? But honestly, if that's Miami's choices to me, Hunter, is move back and stack up everything and go with Tua and Fitzpatrick, or move up for Trevor Lawrence. They've got the capital to get to Lawrence, if anybody does. 2 first round. Anybody else got 2 first round picks?
No. The Jets.
Jags do. Hell, Jags are better positioned than the Dolphins are. They don't need to move, but Jags are at 1-21.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Jacksonville has no reason. Not only
they can. I mean,
the Jets have got 2 first round picks too.
Hunter, but if you offer me though, if I'm Jacksonville, if you offer me 3, Jets got 2 too. If you offer me 3 and 18, that means I could get Tua, 3, 18, and 21. I could have 4 first round draft picks or Trevor Lawrence.
If you don't have that quarterback position right, you're going to feel it for years.
If you got 4 first round draft picks or Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence's defense that gives up 30 points a game, they still going 5-10, 5-11.
I don't do it. If I'm Jacksonville, I don't do it.
All right, finally, Panthers. We'll finish up with this. Just a minute or 2 on this. Panthers out. Last year they drafted 7 defenders,
and I think it paid off. Their defense was obviously better than last year's.
Yes, for the most part. Where did they finish? Did I write that down? They're in the 20s still. They were dead last year.
Well, yes.
So anything above dead last was an improvement.
And they are picking 8th this year.
Right. So I want to read this out loud to everybody so they kind of follow along. Can Bridgewater be, it's the biggest offseason question, can Bridgewater be the franchise quarterback as offensive coordinator called him? Bridgewater, he was 4th in, I think, completion percentage this year.
Teddy played good.
He's 69 completion percentage.
I don't think Teddy played bad at all.
I was watching people online though Sunday. They're giving him hell, and I'm like, you don't have your number 1 wide receiver. This is number 1 running back in your first year. It's a first year coach.
I saw a dumbass tweet. Let's just bring back Cam Newton next year and act like 2020 didn't happen. What? Shut up.
He 8 touchdowns and 10 picks, and we're talking about like he had his wide receivers held him back, Hunter. Brady made the playoffs, same team last year. All right, it says Bridgewater's inability to lead a game-winning drive is reason for pause. Granted, he didn't have the starting left tackle for 9 games or the starting running back for 13.
Right.
He didn't have the 2 most important positions for a quarterback.
Nope.
Bridgewater is also hampered by not having a big receiving tight end threat as a safety valve like Greg Nolson. So finding one is a priority. Bridgewater should go into 2021 as a starter. But with a top 10 pick, the Panthers have to strongly consider drafting a player as the potential to be a franchise quarterback. Finding a player who can be groomed under Bridgewater for a year and then take over as Pat Mahomes did in the Alex Smith deal. And so where
you could do Zach? You could go Zach Wilson if you wanted to do that.
Do you think he falls to 9?
Yeah.
Or do they have to move up to get that pick from Miami at 3? Or no, well, Atlanta's at 4. They don't need a quarterback, so that's a possibility. Those first 3 picks are what's changing the draft.
Yeah.
It's Jacksonville Jets and Dolphins, what they do. They all have 2 first-round picks somehow, and they're all in the top 3.
If you're Carolina, and I want people to understand this, and I know what you mean by, well, do you want to take the 4th best quarterback at that point? Right. To me, there are 4 quarterbacks that could really go top 15 depending on what teams want to do. It is obviously Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones out of Alabama. The question is,
you like
though,
Jones?
I like Mac
Okay.
Jones. I do. I'm not as high on him as I would be a Kyle Trask. I think Kyle Trask takes more risks, which I'm fine with that. You know, you got to be able to push the ball downfield, which is one of the reasons people are knocking on Tua today is because he kind of just dinks and dunks and stuff. I'm just saying, though.
Can't throw it deep when you're off hand like this, Hunter.
And you can throw Kyle Trask into this, but just to keep it short and sweet, if you want to take one of those quarterbacks to learn behind Teddy Bridgewater, like they did the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes deal, you would have no problem with it. Okay. You'd have no problem with it because, like you just said, you're going to get your left tackle and your starting running back next year. Your defense will be a year deeper. They won't all just be rookies flying across everywhere. And Joe Brady will also have a full offseason to implement his offense. So
my biggest issue, and I know sometimes they hit, sometimes, but most of the time I don't think they do, is any quarterback after the one pick in the first round, a lot of times does not pan out. And I think
it has the past few years, though.
I think a lot of
as the quarterbacks get better, more 7-on-7s in off seasons, and the quarterback plays just better throughout college, they really do come out and play good.
I'm gonna go through this for a second.
The only one that didn't really hit were the quarterbacks taken after Daniel Jones last year.
I'm trying. What I want to see is the ones picked not first. You know what I mean? Because and here's what I'm getting at, Hunter. And what I mean by this is that I don't think it's worth the risk hoping the second, third, or fourth best quarterback is going to be good as opposed to drafting a defender or other player that you know is going to be good. And what I mean by that, in the first round, you can't miss. And if you do miss, you guys are sitting there with Haskins. Just think about, would you not rather have another defender right now on your team than instead of Dwayne Haskins' empty spot? That's where I'm getting at. If you do miss,
well, yeah,
you're not only missing on quarterback, you're missing on a starter. Not just at quarterback. I'm talking about another position, a stud. Yeah. Where did y'all draft Haskins at?
15th.
So Dwayne Haskins, what year was that draft?
That was last year.
That was last
No, the year before. So
2018 draft?
Was it 2019 draft?
19 draft.
I think it was 2019 NFL draft, yeah.
So, real quick.
Because Dwayne Haskins was the second quarterback taken because Daniel Jones went first. And so far, Daniel Jones has been a hit. He actually is still with his team.
Let's say
is a starter.
Let's not say hit.
He's doable.
They won 6 games.
He's doable, all right? You can win with him.
Right.
You can win with him.
I think he's doable. But, again, shit, fuck this damn internet today. So it's just been aggravating as piss everything I do today.
It's
time to go home, ain't it?
It is that's what it's saying.
All right, Belle, y'all go get your socks and shoes on, baby. We're going home. Yell at my daughter down the hall. All right, let's just wrap that up. Hunter. Any other news and notes? Because obviously I'm not going to be able to see when the hell Dwayne Haskins was drafted.
Doesn't matter. He was 15th. I know which pick he was.
I just want to know who was picked after him to where we're like, man, we probably could have done that.
Okay.
Not quarterback, just any position.
Well, that
you would like to have now.
We drafted Dwayne, and then what did we do? We actually traded back up into the first round. That's where we drafted Montez Sweat in the 20s, and he's turned out to be a damn stud. So, who we could have taken there? You're right. We would just have to look back and see.
So Haskins was taken 15th.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian Burns.
Brian Burns is a stud.
That's right. I'm going to say some people. Would you like any of these people on your team right now? Would you like Brian Burns? Dexter Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys I just don't like. Josh Jacobs was picked.
That would have been a good pickup, but I like Antonio Gibson right now.
Y'all got Sweat. Jonathan Abram at safety was
I would have
picked.
liked that pick.
N'Keal Harry.
No.
This guy's got the best name, Rock Ya-Sin.
I don't even know.
Have you seen that? His first name is Rock. His last name is like YA-Sin, S-I-N.
I don't know where he went.
That's got to be a church. Greg Little. No. Drew Lock.
Nope.
Greedy Williams.
Yes. I thought Greedy Williams was a steal.
How about this? A.J. Brown.
Damn, that's a
What if y'all had him and Terry out there?
I want you to think about it. A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf both fell.
Yeah.
Could have had DK.
Miles Sanders.
We picked Terry McLaurin.
DK Metcalf second round.
We picked Terry McLaurin in this draft too. 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, there he is. 76th overall, 3rd. So y'all picked McLaurin, and if y'all had picked higher and just kept it, you could have got any one of those guys, and you probably wouldn't have took Terry.
Exactly.
Oh, well. All right, that's it for today's show. Hunter, thanks for coming in. Had a good
No
time.
problem.
We'll see you guys Wednesday
Yep.
live at 2 o'clock on ktcbroadcasting.com's YouTube channel. And then, of course, you can watch the replays on YouTube, listen to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast at. So we'll see you guys next week. This Wednesday. I always get the next broadcast. I fucked that up.
You say it because we're thinking about Saturdays.
I am. I'll see you guys
Wednesday,
2 o'clock. I think Zach will be back this week, and we'll talk more NFL. We'll have predictions for the playoffs and talk some NBA and more on ktcbroadcasting.com.